Across the UK, online and on DAB.
A radio star is born.
You're going to love
Talk Radio. Talk Radio.
Where the hell have you been, Boyle?
Kiss it.
Good evening, dear listener. Thank you to, I don't know what they are, Baldy and the Tramp. I made myself laugh with that. I made myself laugh. That's sticking. We'll talk about being bored tonight and how the world is boring. You fancy that? We'll give it a go. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late Night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
I love that. That's all right, isn't it? Good evening, dear listener. This is Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio. Thank you to Baldy and the Tramp. Sounds like a detective series from the 1970s. When James Whale would have been in his 40s. 0344 499 1000. I want to talk to you tonight about boredom. Isn't everything boring? Life is dull, isn't it? I've spent the last 3 hours in the office bored out of my brain. And I'm surrounded by television, radio, computers, access to the entire knowledge that is accessible, and every thought, everything that's been written down, noted down by mankind over the millennia, I had access to. I got my smartphone, and do you know what I did for the last 3 hours? Do you know what I did? Well, I mainly whinged. I'm bored. I'm really bored. So bored. Me and Kath spent 20 minutes making ourselves chuckle by... Right, there was a thing going around today. Shall we read it? Where's the one that was going around? There was a thing. Is it a meme? That would be a meme, wouldn't it? Is that a meme? I don't know. There was a thing going around. Someone got hold of some instructions or some notes for presenters and producers from a commercial music network, right? And so me and Kath I saw that earlier. I thought, we can write a funny one of those for talk radio, make it a little bit rude and a little bit, we'll poke gentle fun at some of our colleagues, and we'll have a laugh at us and stuff. So I tweeted that, but the original one. Shall I read you some of this? And it is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking to think that someone actually had these thoughts. Paul and Alan, I'll come to you in a bit, even though you're Alan Caddick and Paul Akimbola. 03444991000. Someone had these thoughts, someone in power, someone in authority in a radio network had these thoughts, typed them down, and then forwarded on to their presenters and their producers. It's why it's why talk radio is kind of talk radio 4, a couple of other shows are really kind of standing out as something quite different for the moment. May not always be. So this is these are instructions to presenters and producers on a certain music radio network, right? Heading: new music links, speed links, crunch and roll. I don't even know what that means. Crunch and roll? You haven't. Crunch and roll. Okay. Always say, then in bold letters, all the biggest hits, all day long, at the top of the link. Then in bold letters, never the end. All the biggest hits, all day long, at the top of the link. Don't do it at the end, guys, because if you do, a baby dies. Say the station name into the new song, you idiots. That's obvious, isn't it? If you're going into the new song, you say the station name. Otherwise, a baby dies. These links should be 10 to 15... What's the next word? Seconds maximum, and capitals only. Focus on selling the song coming up. Italics underlined, nothing else. That reminds me, when I left Absolute, I went and had meetings everywhere. I had a meeting here with the old boss when it was Talk Sport, just as he was about to convert the... had a meeting here with the old boss of Talk Sport, because the Through the Night show still used to be like phone-in and chatty and, Mike Mendoza type thing. And I came in pitching for that gig. And within the first 2 minutes of the meeting, he told me he had ideas. He was going to change the overnight slot from Talk Sport to Sport. So it's going to be Sport 24 hours a day. What I should have done in that meeting was say, I'm going to stop you there, Moz. Thanks very much, but I don't know anything about sport. We're wasting each other's time. Instead, what I did was for the next 50 minutes, sat there nodding, going, I think that could work. Then walked out thinking, I ain't never going to work there. But I had a meeting, I think it was Heart. Was it Magic? One of the two, doesn't matter. I was never going to work there. And the guy meeting me was late. And he came in, he said, I'm really sorry I was late, but I had a meeting with all the presenters. And it was a really good meeting. I've told them I want their links down from 27 seconds to 22 seconds. And I just thought, I'm not going to work there either. Every time you play a B or C list song, now your songs are boring, are categorised A, B, C's. A's will get played a lot, B's not so often, C's even less often. It is new to somebody listening to your show. sell it to that person each time. If you think you've heard it a lot, the audience are just getting to know it because they're thick. That's what it's saying. Your audience is thick and brain dead, guys. They've not heard it before. You've heard it loads. You're in the biz. You're a jock. Links into breaks or junctions. Always say, capitals, all the biggest hits all day long at the top of the link. Never the end. This is the second time we've had this instruction. This is how important it is. We don't want people associating our position with commercials. The commercials feed my kids and pay the mortgage, so, you know. Tease into every break. So a tease is like, coming up after the break, you could win 50 grand on our mystery voice competition. Or coming up after the break, we'll be playing Robbie Williams and Candy. Your teases, the things I just spontaneously tossed off there without a moment's thought. The spontaneous chat. You remember when you have a conversation, it's spontaneous and things pop up in your head and there's a chat. Your teases need to be signed off by your content controller, who? Or content director, breakfast producer, breakfast teams, prior to your show. What that's saying is, any little throwaway line, any little comment like that, gotta run it past the boss first, guys. Why am I telling you all this? Because this is why Talk Radio is flipping brilliant. Because we haven't got to do any of this stuff here at Talk Radio. Okay? This is why this station is absolutely playing a superb blinder and is filling a massive hole in the market, a soulless void in the market, because I don't have to tell my boss anything. There was one thing I ran past my boss because I wasn't sure about, and he said, nah, don't do that. And that was on the New Year's Eve show, and we were going to have a Deadpool, where you would phone in and say, I think in 2017, such and such will die. And I thought it was a funny idea, but even me thought, well, let me check. And the boss said, nah, don't do that. That's the only time he's ever said, nah, don't do that. And that's because I asked him, and in my heart of hearts, I knew he was going to say that. That's why I checked. Next one. Tease me, don't warn me. Sorry, does anyone know what that means? Tease me, don't warn me, never tell me the song and artist. The thought of that particular song may prompt me to switch out. So coming up after the break, it's Robbie Williams and... Oh, I'm not saying what. Because if I say Candy, you'll switch off. However, once the song starts playing, I'm likely to stick with it. They've changed it now to not them, it's now I. So whoever's written this... Poor sap. Whoever has written this has changed it. Once it starts playing, I'm likely to stick with it, even if it is Robbie Williams and Candy. Got a hurricane in the back of her throat. Listing songs or artists is not enough. Sell the upcoming sequence of 3 songs. Ah! Which one stands out to you? What's great about it? What's great about it? Share those thoughts with the listener. But hang on, I've only got 10 to 15 seconds and I've got to run it past you before I do that. I can't think. And then the last one. Be passionate about what you're playing or talking about next. I can't! You sucked the passion out of my eyes! There is no passion left! Because I've got to remember to say all the biggest hits all day long at the top of the hour, so it distances us from the commercials. I can't do it at the end of the link. And by the way, the links I've got to run past you, and they can't be any more than 15 seconds long! Do I mention the song? No, it's the artist, not the song. Because you might not like the song, but you might like the artist. That doesn't even make sense. Soulless, man. Absolutely soulless. Sucking the joy. By the way, I've just made myself unemployable by an entire radio network. Sucking the joy out of radio. When you listen to radio, right? Let me check. When I listen to radio, right, I want to hear people. I want to hear people talking with passion. That's why I don't like the woman, but I listen to Julia Hartley-Brewer from times. Because I don't agree with a single thing she says or stands for, but she's passionate about it. And it's good to listen to people that you disagree with, because it challenges your thinking. And it either makes you think, maybe they've got a point, or it firms up your argument. That's why I listen to people like her, because she's passionate. Be passionate about what you're playing or talking about next. You can't be passionate when you're sucking the soul out of radio. These demons, these vampires are putting radio in their mouth and just sucking it all out through a hose. It's awful. That's why talk radio is flipping brilliant, right? And it may not always be like this. We've got figures coming out this week. Who knows, right? Who knows? So enjoy it while you can. And if you enjoy it, tell people you enjoy it. And get them to tell people. And share the podcasts. And put on your Facebook page the ways that people can listen. And download the apps. Because I tell you what, this entire business that we're in now, the commercial factor, it's all driven by you lot and by numbers. It's driven by numbers. So if we don't get the numbers, we'll be out on our ear. And you'll have robo-talk. That's what you'll get. And when I'm listening to music radio, and there are, you know, jocks, people not trying to make a living. I'm not knocking any of you at all. Right? I'm probably going to make a load of enemies with this. I'm not knocking you at all. Genuinely, I respect anybody that can turn a dollar in this stupid business. You know, whether it is on a national station, a local station, a franchise station, whether you're doing a podcast from Nana's bedroom and you're getting a few quid off that. Genuinely, if you can turn a dollar by speaking into a microphone, well done. Well done. Good for you. Excellent. David, shove it up your arse. Especially when there's a high repeat schedule on stations of the like of Talk Radio. There's not, David. That's bullshine. There is not a high repeat schedule on here. We have best ofs at the weekend, but it accounts for 12 hours over the weekend, something like that. Mate, you've got Paul Ross. You've got Julia. You've got John Holmes. You've got Sam Delaney. You've got Baldy and the Tramp. You've got me. You've got Galloway. You've got the Alexis doing the Hustle show at the weekend. There's loads of stuff. Through the night we simulcast with Talk Sport on the two mics. So don't give me there's a high repeat schedule, David. That's absolute nonsense. Right? Absolute nonsense. Going back to this, when I listen to music radio, I want to hear a presenter who's got a connection with the music. That's why I listen to Six Music, or I listen to who's downstairs now, Virgin, because you'll get Edith Bowman, right? Does the breakfast on Virgin. She's got a connection with the music. She knows about music. She likes music. She moves in musical circles. Jeff Lloyd. He knows everything about the Beatles. He knows so much about music. He surrounds himself with music. And when he finds a song that touches him there, when Edith finds a song that gets her there, when Radcliffe and McConey find a song that gets them there, when Lauren Laverne finds a song that makes her tingle, when Jamie East finds a record that sends shivers down his spine, He'll enthuse about it. They'll enthuse about it and tell you why you should like that song. But also accept that you might not like that song, and that's fine. And if you don't like that song, you'll probably like the one after it. And you get people in authority earning twice what I'm earning, 3 times what I'm earning, writing this stuff, writing these instructions on how to do radio. Here's the thing. If I had a radio station, right, I would employ people. If it was, let's say it was a music station, mixture of music and speech. I would employ people who knew about music and who could talk and who had life experience. Doesn't necessarily mean they're of an age. You can have life experience and be 18 years old. Doesn't matter. But I would employ those people who knew about music, who had a passion for music, who perhaps they like different genres of music, but and could talk and could tell stories. That's what it's all about. Music radio, you're playing records and you're telling stories. That's what it's all about. And you get rubbish like this. Rubbish like this. This is why the majority of radio is bland as flip, man. Bland as flip. And this is why an experiment like talk radio, this is an expensive experiment, it's why it's not all right. It's not all perfect. Some of you don't like the repeats. All right, well, that's fine. I can understand that. I happen to think there's enough variety at the weekends to make the repeats worthwhile. Bob Mills and Howard Hughes, Sunday evening. 6 hours of pure, wonderful storytelling and lies from both shows that you wouldn't hear anywhere else. 6 hours in a row. Flippin' heck. If you've not heard Bob Mills' show, it's brilliant. I don't listen to it all the way through. I haven't got that time at the weekend. But I do like to dip in and out of it. I'll have it on in the kitchen. And then I'll wander off and I'll come back. And it's just, it's three people having a chat. And I happen to know two of the people that are on it this week, or I'd worked with them. And it was just like eavesdropping on a chat. It was wonderful. Then Howard Hughes started talking out of his arse. It was brilliant. I loved it. Fell asleep to it. That's what radio should be about. Passion. And people talking and telling stories and going, oh, I found this song. I think you might like it. Here's why I think you might like it. Here's what I think you should be looking out for. Flipping heck. First three calls of the night. Caddick, Akimbola and Nigel. Didn't mean to go off on a tangent on that. I was talking about being bored, wasn't I? We'll carry on talking about boredom in a minute. 0344 499 1000.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Gaza says, why is Iain Lee always shouting? Something wrong with him, I guess. I'm not always shouting! Sometimes I lean into the mic like this and talk like that, but I'm shouting there because I'm flipping angry, man. I'm angry and I'm passionate. I love radio, right? It's the best medium. Not the best paid job I've ever had by a long, long way. By a long way, right? But it is the best medium. I'll tell you why. I was driving in the other night, flicking through the stations as I do. Listen to a bit of Sam, listen to a bit of another newsy station. Then I settled on PM on Radio 4 because I like Eddie Mair. The last 30 minutes of what is ostensibly a world news show was him talking to another BBC presenter, Steve Hewlett, who is dying of cancer. It was incredible. I have never heard anything so human in my entire life. I make up their friends. I don't know. They speak to each other as if they are friends, and they josh each other. And Eddie Mair was so relaxed in the company of this gentleman, who's been told he may now only have a few weeks to live. He was making jokes about him popping his clogs. That's how relaxed they were. He may have even used the phrase, when you snuff it. I can't remember. It was something like that. It was the most human thing I've ever heard. It was incredible bit of storytelling. And it was real. We were just watching some poxy drama on the telly about Shannon Matthews, right? You know, the girl that was kidnapped, but she was kidnapped by her mum and it was all a fake. And it was, you know, it was an incredible story. But it didn't feel real. Didn't feel real because it wasn't real, because it was acting and it was brilliant actors and they were doing the story brilliantly, but there was just something missing. Just something missing. Whereas if you'd listen to these two blokes talking in a hospital with one of them told he's probably only got weeks left to live. So urgent, but, so worried was the doctor that she said, look, I know you want to marry your girlfriend. You should probably do it today. Wow. And we were lucky enough to be able to eavesdrop on that conversation. We were sat in the hospital at the edge of the bed, listening to Eddie and Steve having a chat. And we had to be quiet because we were listening to it. But what was great was while we were listening, we could pass notes to each other going, flipping heck, this is incredible. I was passing notes to Miranda Sawyer because I saw that she was listening to it. I passed her a note and said, I'm in pieces listening to this. She sent me a little note back on Twitter saying, yeah, me too. Isn't this incredible? That's what radio is, man. And it doesn't have to be serious. It doesn't have to be miserable. It doesn't have to be people dying. It can be a laugh. I like to think that most nights we come in here and we have a laugh. We sit and we mess around. We talk nonsense and we have a laugh. And I say that my kids have done something stupid and wonderful today. And you'll phone in and say that your kids have done something stupid and wonderful at the weekend. And then someone else will phone in and say, oh, I saw a really funny film. I think you might like it. It's like real, isn't it? It's real. It's passion. Stories. That's why I'm shouting, Gazza. That's why I'm shouting, right? Because I'm passionate about radio. It is the best medium. I get more from this than I do from watching television. I'm talking about presenting and listening. I get more from radio than I do from watching telly. Than I do from reading the newspapers. Certainly than I do from watching films. The closest thing is a really good book. For me. Might be different for you. The closest thing is a really good book. But for me, radio is what it's all about, man. And it is wonderful. And we've heard amazing things on here. Talking about, Steve Hewlett on Radio 4. We've heard amazing things. We had a fella phone in a few weeks ago who had terminal cancer. Do you remember? And he was all upbeat and all positive. What a privilege. What a privilege. And you get drones sending out instructions like that. Your links can only be 10 to 15 seconds max. Don't forget to run them past the content controller. If I ran a radio station, I would employ people that I trusted, that had life experience, that could tell stories and were passionate. That's it, whether it's a speech-based station or whether it's a music station. That's what I do. That is what I do. Those are the people I'd get. I tell them the rules. There are rules. Of course there are rules. Ofcom. Never had an Ofcom complaint upheld. A few of you made complaints last month. Not one has been upheld because I know the rules. I know what the rules are. So you tell them the rules. You say, this is as far as you can go. Away you go. Go and make radio. And do you know what? Some of it doesn't work. Some of these shows have been ropey. Bits of shows have been ropey. Entire shows have been ropey. Brilliant. Brilliant. We learn from our mistakes. Well, you don't learn anything when you do things right. You learn very little when you keep doing things right. When you muff things up, when things go spectacularly wrong, when you have some idiot on who keeps swearing and a swear gets out, that's when you learn stuff. Me and Kath learnt more in that 10-minute interview than the last 6 months at the other place I worked at. Because it went hideously wrong. Beautiful. Beautiful. We learnt. My boss, saying that is the one time my boss has phoned me up, said, Iain, we need to have a chat. And I went, yeah. And I was grateful. He phoned me up. He told me what I did wrong. He told me what I needed in the future. He said, don't do it again. I thanked him. Beautiful. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Andrew says, Iain, what did you mean talk radio is an experiment? Well, it's a punt. Any commercial business, any new commercial business is a punt. A lot of money has been poured into this punt. At the moment, it's working. Let's see if it keeps on working. I'm going to talk about boredom in a bit. Sorry, that rant, I don't know where that rant came from. And my voice is going a little bit. And the first three callers are Caddick, Akimbola and Nigel. So it's going to be one of those shows. I can tell Nigel how much money I've lost on that deal. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000. Let's crack on. Let's go to... Right, I don't know where to start. Let's go down the traditional route, shall we? We play the biggest hits all day long. Evening, Caddick.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, 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 Cads.
You really went off on one tonight.
I have got a rocket up my jacksie, sir.
Oh dear, what happened with the commercials?
No, nothing's happened. This thing got me annoyed, and nothing happened. We're all good. I was going to talk about being bored, Alan.
Oh dear, it's been one of those days.
No, well, do you know what? It has, and it hasn't. I got my car fixed. For all those concerned, I got my car fixed.
How much does it cost?
Well, it cost here's the thing. Okay, we can do this, right? So, a cyclist rammed into the back of my car last night, and he smashed the back passenger side light, right?
Well, that's going to cost a bit.
Well, it was going to cost a bit, and to my shame, I was in shock and I was angry, and I got out and I swore at him a lot, and I called him an effing idiot and all of that stuff, right? I'm not proud of it.
Road rage.
Well, there wasn't road rage. I was in shock and I was angry because because if you've got smashed back light, Alan, you can get points on your licence.
I've seen that episode of the Bill where Smithy smashed the tail light of a car.
I've missed that episode of the Bill. I must have that on VHS at home somewhere to watch. But you can get points, and I've already got 6 points. I don't want to get any more points. So I was very angry and I was upset. But, I apologised. I texted the guy last night and I apologised. Anyway, I found this great service online. I can't remember what it's called. But basically, they send a mechanic out to you to fix it.
That's convenient.
It is brilliant, right? And so this fella, you book a slot, and I booked a slot between 12 and 2. Yeah. And this fella rocked up at 1, and he fixed it. It only took him 10 minutes to fix, and he was delightful. 138 quid. Now,
ouch.
Noel, the young cyclist gentleman said he would pay for it all.
Yeah.
And I was very happy with that. And I said, fine. And so I sent in the bill tonight. I said, look, I've had it done. 138 quid. Here's the bill. And then after I'd sent that email, I said to Kath, I said, you know what? It was an accident. It was 140 quid, just under 140 quid. I said it was an accident. He was a nice guy. I imagine, I make up that 140 quid is a lot of money to him. It's a lot of money to me. It's a lot of money to a lot of people, 140 quid.
Yeah.
And I said, and I still feel a bit bad that I swore at him, because that was unnecessary.
Okay. So,
and I was asking Kath this, I said, should I say to him, look, you give me 100 quid and I'll cover the 39.50, the extra 40 quid.
Yeah.
And Kath went, well, why would you do that? And I said, because I'm a nice guy, Catherine. So I did. I sent him an email saying, look, I feel bad about what happened. It was an accident. If you pay 100, I'll pay the 40 quid. If you're happy with that, we'll call it quits. So we'll see if he gets back in touch.
We'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see. So that felt like here we go. That felt like the right thing to do.
Yeah, it does, definitely.
The right thing to do was to
make the human thing to do.
To make that offer. And, because you imagine that. You're riding your bike home and you lose your focus for a bit and suddenly you got a bill for 140 quid. So, that felt like the right thing to do. So that's been my day. Alan took the kids to the opticians. That was hard work.
New glasses?
No, they don't. They just went and got their eyes tested. That it was a tough old thing. You try and getting a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old to sit still and do eye charts. It was really, really hard work. Then we went to Wagamama's. I ate too much food and I came to work.
Was there an all-you-can-eat buffet there?
No. What, Wagamama's?
Oh, I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Doesn't Wagamama's mean naughty mouth or something?
I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's very delicious.
Is it a steakhouse?
No, it's not a steakhouse, Alan. 0344 499 1000. Akimbola, Nigel, you're coming up next.
Late Night Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Wagamama, I'm sure it means something like naughty mouth or stinky child or it's something. It's something. Oh God, I mean, really, let's go. What the heck was that? Jeez. Paul Akimbola.
Hello.
Hello, Paul. Is your mouth anywhere near the telephone, sir?
No.
Well, could you do me a favour and move it near to the telephone, sir? That's it. There we go.
Well, do you hear that the blind date is coming back?
Yeah, blind date's coming back on Channel 5. Beautiful.
And I want you to make a campaign on the air, have Mark Dolan, who's currently on Jump on Channel 4, or Quake Just for the reviews of Blind Date.
Mark Dolan and who?
Or Craig Charles.
Craig Charles? What to host it?
Yeah, campaign.
You want? Hang on a minute, Paul Akimbola. You want me?
You should launch an online campaign.
You want me, former television host and very, very comfortable in front of an auto cue, series of cameras, wearing an earpiece, live or pre-recorded. You want me to launch an online campaign to get Mark Dolan or Craig Charles the Blind Date hosting job?
Yeah. You should launch it.
I should be launching Blind Date.
Yeah. Even better.
Yeah. Paul, I'm not gonna do that.
You're not gonna host it.
No, I'm not gonna launch a campaign that would give my rivals in the workplace a head start on what should be my job. Blind data.
Well,
why don't you launch a campaign to get Mark Dolan to do bloody Blind Date if you love him so much, and then you can go on there, you can be contestant number 3, and then you can marry him.
Only joking.
Great jokes, guys. Thanks for the bants, Paul. I loved it. Let's go to We Thought He Died. It's Nigel from Maidstone.
Oh, hi, Ian.
Nigel.
I used to love Blind Date with Cilla Black, didn't you?
Blind Date. Honestly, I thought it was rubbish.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about Blind Date.
That's the start of the tune to Blind Date.
No, it's sort of...
Similar,
You're sort of missing out every third and seventh note.
Well, it's oh, sorry.
So, Nigel, I don't know if you don't listen to this show, so you won't have heard me last night talking about exactly how much money we made from the songs that we released.
Someone told me to ring you on Facebook.
Yeah. It turns out, Nigel.
Yes.
I had massively overestimated how much money our songs had made on iTunes.
Yeah.
I thought we made about 350 quid, right? So I paid you 30 quid a song.
I got £60.
Because how many songs did you do?
2 songs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I paid Dan the DC DJ 30 quid a song. He did 3 songs. How much did he get?
I think he got 50, didn't it? No, he got 80.
90.
90, yeah.
And I owe Barry 30 quid, but I'm not going to give it to him because he's dead.
Oh.
And I thought that
he didn't die.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh.
We think he was murdered by his son Dave, who was a drug addict.
Oh, right.
So I thought I'd get a bit of money and we'd all be happy, right? So it turns out, Nigel, we didn't make about 350 quid.
No.
We made about 130 quid. So I paid you 60 and I paid Dan 90. That's 150 quid. So I'm down 20 quid already.
Yes.
And then I've got to pay the tax on it, which will be about another 60 quid. So
you still sold. You didn't sell 350 albums then. So 280 albums you didn't sell.
You're just saying numbers. So basically, you've made 60 quid. Dan's made 90 quid. It's cost me 80 quid. I have paid £80 for the privilege of having to work with you.
Yeah, well, you can have it back if you want.
No, I'm not asking for it
I'm
back.
very pleased to have the privilege of you working with me on the album, because I really enjoyed doing it.
So you're pleased that I had the privilege of working with you because you enjoyed doing it?
I'm pleased that you worked with me to make the record.
Well, it was fun. I wish it hadn't cost me £80, but it was fun.
It was really good fun, and there were good songs with you. It was put together well by the rest of the crew, anyway.
Well, we won't be doing it again. That's for sure.
But it's very good. Everyone was pleased with it.
How has life been for you, Nigel?
Pardon?
How has life been for you, Nigel?
Fine. Okay, apart from the cold, being there was so cold too much, but
Cold,
never mind.
It's nippy.
Yeah. So you didn't like Cilla Black doing the blind date?
I didn't really like Blind Date. It reminded me of being 14 and too young to go out on a Saturday night when it was on, and being forced to sit with your mum and watch Blind Date.
I think it was a bit false in some ways, and maybe some of it was fixed as well, was it?
I think it was towards the end. It was all fixed, and they were giving
because people didn't realise at the time. But she did put it over well, didn't she?
Oh, listen, I'm not knocking Cilla. No. Cilla was a class act. You can't. She was a.
She did everything well, didn't she?
She was a proper talent, was Cilla. I'm not knocking Cilla. I just didn't like the programme.
And when she first started singing, when she was about 25 or 20 with the Beatles,
yes,
she was really a better singer then as well, wasn't she? I think.
Yeah, she was the
top singer.
She worked in the cloakroom in the Cavern Club.
That's right, and that's where she met the Beatles.
Yep.
That was marvellous time.
What do you want to sing tonight, Nigel?
I've got a record ready here called Misty, a Johnny Mathis song. I don't think I've done that one before.
Forget that. I don't want to hear that. I want to sing with you, brother. I want to get the band back together just for one night. We're doing a free concert for charity. We're gonna. This is a free concert for charity. So, what do you want to sing, Nigel? Let's do it.
Well, who do you want to sing about?
Well, I was going to say Cilla Black, but I'm just worried that you might throw in an inappropriate line about her passing.
No, I don't think we should do that when she's dead, no.
Well, you can sing about dead people.
No, I mean, I was going to do a tribute to George Michael. There's a song that he does called... well, anyway, there's a song I do that he used
Should we do a tribute to George Michael?
But I don't know all the words to all of his songs.
Do you ever?
No.
Well, then what would you like to sing, and we'll sing it together?
But do you know the words to... Well, you pick a song. You pick...
I'm never gonna dance again. Guilty feet ain't got no rhythm. Though
I can do Kelly's Whisper, because I know most of the words. So.
Okay, well, let's do that.
Are you going to sing with me?
Yeah. I'll join in. I might drop a little rap over the top about George Michael.
I'll count you. 1, 2, 3. I'm never gonna dance again. Guilty feet got no rhythm, but it's easy to pretend. I'm never gonna dance again.
Thought you knew this one. Thought you knew this one. This is one you knew.
I've forgotten the words.
All right, here we go. Club Tropicana drinks are free.
I don't know that one either.
Fun and laughter, there's enough for everyone.
Could you do another one with me?
Yeah, sure, go on.
This one I know the words to. He did this a jazz album that I've got.
George Michael's jazz album.
Yeah.
I must remember to order
like
that.
This. 1, 2, 3. It seems we stood and talked together. No, let me start again.
Well.
It seems we stood and talked together somehow. We looked at each other in
This isn't a George Michael song.
But I can't remember where or when.
This isn't a George Michael song.
The clothes you're wearing are the clothes you wore.
It's not a George.
You were smiling then. But I can't remember when, where or when you sing the next bit. Okay.
No, don't. It's not a George Michael song.
Sounds... No, it was on his jazz album.
Young guns are having some fun. Crazy ladies taking off the... Wise guys realize there's danger in emotional ties. Bop, 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 can't you? But 1, 2, 3, baby, do.
You don't need me. You can do it on your own.
Wake me up before you go. Don't leave me hanging on like a...
Go.
Yo-yo. It's yo-yo. You muppet.
I never listened to his record.
No, it weren't that good, really.
No, I mean, the Tropicana one I used to listen to. And
no, you're thinking of the Umbongo song. Umbongo, they drink it in the Congo.
Never Gonna Dance Again, I used to listen to that one.
What was the Umbongo song about, No, what was, Kiora, too orangey for crows, it's just for me and my dog. You remember that?
No, I've never heard of that
one. Shall we sing, hang on a minute, let's sing the Kiora song, hang on, let me get it.
Are you going to? Let's do a song about somebody famous again.
Hang on a minute. We're gonna do. Hang on. This is what we're gonna sing. Oh, I don't think this advert could be shown now.
It's too orangey for crows. It's just for me and my dog.
I'll be your dog. I'll be your dog.
There we go. A little bit racist, that ad. Oh my God! Yeah, I probably can't play that. It's a little bit racist, that. Don't say anything, Nigel.
Why don't we sing Fly Me to the Moon together?
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me know what life is like on Jupiter and Mars.
In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me, fill my heart with song, and let me sing forevermore, because you are all I long for, all I have adore.
In other words, hold my hand. I love you. Oh, beautiful, Nigel. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Excellent. Maybe, can we get those notes back up again? Because maybe those notes were right. 10 to 15 seconds maximum is the way it should be. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. So the thing I was going to talk about is boredom, right? How often do you find yourself bored? Really? So we were sat, honestly, me and Kath, we spent 20 minutes, that was it, that's how we started. We spent 20 minutes writing a nice little spoof of those radio instructions. We kind of made it for talk radio, and we had a dig at Baldy and the Tramp and Julia Hartley-Brewer, and we joked about there being no listeners. Fingers crossed for Radios this week, guys. And we had a bit of fun doing that. It was 20 minutes. So I saw that this morning. I thought, we can do that for work. That'll be fun. And I wrote a bit, and I gave it to Kath, and she filled in some bits that I couldn't do. And then I saw it, and I took it, and we passed it back and forth. It was a nice little writing exercise, doing that. And then we finished that about 7:20. And then we had nothing to do. Absolutely nothing to do. And for the most part, what a waste of time. I sat there hitting the refresh button on Twitter. I literally must have spent an hour and a half doing that. And then we looked at a few videos on YouTube. We looked at the episode of the Batman with Bruce Lee where Bruce Lee and Robin have a fight. It exists. We looked at... Then I showed her a scene from Invasion USA, the Chuck Norris film, where there's a guy rowing a boat forwards. That's not possible, is it? You can't... When you row backwards. Whichever way you sit, you're rowing backwards. And in this film, there's a scene where the guy's rowing up to Chuck Norris's house in a swamp, and he's rowing forwards. And I just thought it just sat uncomfortably with me. Then we looked at Twitter again, and we jokingly argued about who was going to make the tea or the coffee, and I went and made one, and a bit later on she went and... But do you know what? boring, man. We're bored. And I seem to spend, and this comes from within, not from without, I think, seem to spend a lot of my life bored. Really bored. I've got a cracking book on the go at the moment, the Robbie Robertson autobiography, the guy from the band. I'm enjoying that. Got the new record collector, which I've got an article in. I'm just bored. Being bored is good, right? And I don't think kids are bored enough. I think being bored is important for kids because it fires off their imagination. You know, I'm bored, nothing to do. Well, go and find something to do. And you create stuff. And when you're kids, you either create games, or my eldest made a comic the other day. You know, you create stuff. And I think necessity is the mother of invention. I think boredom is the mother of creativity. Boom! Is that an actual saying, or have I just made that up? I've just made that up, haven't I? Yeah, while necessity may be the mother of invention, but boredom is the father of creativity. I don't know, maybe I took it a step too far there, I don't know. But I do think it is, being bored. You kind of, your mind is forced to come up with ways to entertain itself. And you come up with the most stupid things. My eldest was telling me they went on a school trip today to where Florence Nightingale, to her hospital or something. And I said, what did you learn about Florence Nightingale? Can we check these facts that I'm about to tell you? He said she had a pet owl called Athena that lived in her pocket. Can we check that out? 3 things. Pet owl, named Athena, lived in her pocket. Because is that all true? The boy's a genius. The boy's a genius. Fair play then. What a great school trip if you come away with that. What did you learn on your entire school trip? That Florence Nightingale had a pet owl called Athena that lived in her pocket. Wonderful. Well, then there you go. 0344 499 1000. I'll ramble on a bit more after this.
Talk Radio.
The switchboard is clear. The fruitcakes, I think, have been on for the first hour, and we've got 2 more hours of this stuff. Now would be an excellent time to call. 0344 499 1000. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late Night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Weirdest news ever? Did anyone else feel uncomfortable hearing that bloke being murdered? I did. I felt do we need to hear that? If that comes up again, I'm going to dump it. I'm sorry. I don't think that's appropriate. And also, the story about the PIA, Pakistan International Airways, or as we used to call it, perhaps it'll arrive. Travelled with them many times. That's weird, isn't it? The reason that the RAF went and guided it down to land at Stansted was because they'd had a tip-off about something, but it was coincidence there was a wanted man on there? That is weird.
Hi there, nice to be with you. Happy you could stick around. Like to introduce Legs Larry Smith, drums. And Sam Spoon's rhythm pole. And Vern Dudley Bohay Noel, bass guitar. And Neil Innes, piano. Come in, Rodney Slater, alto saxophone. With Roger Ruskin Spear on tenor sax. Hi, Vivian Stanchel, trumpet. Big hello to Big John Wayne, xylophone. And Robert Morley, guitar. Billy Buckland, spoons. And looking very relaxed, Adolf Hitler on vibes. Nice. Princess Anne on sousaphone. Introducing Liberace clarinet. With Garnet Ted Armstrong on vocals. Lord Snooty and his pals tap dancing. In the groove with Harold Wilson violin. Franklin McCormack on harmonica. Over there, Eric Clapton, ukulele. Hi, Eric. On my left, Sir Kenneth Clark, bass sax. Great honor, sir. freshly flown in for us, a Sessions gorilla on Vox Humana. Nice to see Incredible Shrinking Man on Euphonium. Drop out with Peter Scott on Duck Call. Hearing from you later, Casanova on Horn. Yeah, digging General de Gaulle on accordion. Really wild, General. Thank you, sir. Roy Rogers on Trigger. Tune in Wild Man of Borneo on bongos. Trump Basie Orchestra on Triangle. Thank you. Great to hear the Rollinsons on trombone. Back from his recent operation, Dan Drop, hot. And representing the Flower People, Quasimodo on bells. Wonderful to hear Brainiac on banjo. We welcome Baldunicum as himself. Very appealing Max Jaffa. That's nice, Max. What a team, Zebra Kid and Horace Bachelor on percussion. And a great favorite and a wonderful performer, all of us here, Jay Arthur Rank on gong.
Oh, there's always time in the world, dear listener, for the bonzos. Always time for the bonzos. I think Sir Henry at Rawlinson's End needs a re-watching to see if I dig it this time, because I didn't used to. 0344 499 1000, Late Nights with Iain Lee, on Talk Radio. A phone-in show, a late-night phone-in show, unlike any other in the world. If you find one like it, let me know, because this is the kind of show I would like to listen to. This is the show that I would want to put on my radio and drive around listening to, or listen in bed to this. Probably not, a bit too loud for me to listen in bed to. Oh well. But you can call in about anything. We're getting new listeners all the time, are we? We'll find out Thursday. But I like to think we're getting new listeners all the time. I know we are, because people are texting and tweeting and we're getting followers and all that kind of stuff. So if you're sitting there, waiting for the hook, waiting for the question, waiting for the angle, waiting for your cue to call in. There is no cue to call. There is no question. There is no angle. There is no topic for this hour. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's a sprawling, desolate wasteland of digital radio. 3 hours, Monday to Friday, 10 o'clock at night till 1 o'clock in the morning. The dream slot, right? And it's anything you want it to be. Literally anything you want it to be. The only rules are don't phone in about Trump, don't phone in about Brexit. Although saying that, I've kind of loosened my grip on those rules a little bit. I think there is room to talk about those things a little bit. But that's not what this is. Most other phone-in shows, fun about Donald Trump. Oh, I don't like Brexit. Oh, I like Brexit. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that John Bercow, he shouldn't have said that. He should be sacked. Oh, that John Bercow, I liked him. He said that. He shouldn't be sacked. This is, it's a blank canvas. It's an empty digital space. It's infinite. It can be shaped and moulded and coloured and ignored and turned up and turned down, and you can turn your back on it. Anything you want. Literally. All you've got to do if you want to help manipulate it into some form of shape, if you want to squeeze it into a bit of a shape or stretch it into a bit of shape or add a little bit of colour or kind of twist a little bit to get some texture, the best way to do that is to call in. Texts and tweets, they're kind of groovy, but if you really want to manipulate the vibrations of the show as they pass through my microphone and out through people's speakers into their homes or their cars or their bedrooms or their kitchens or their headphones, the best way to do that, the real best way to get a hands-on grasp is to pick up the telephone and call. I'm not going to tell you what to call in about. That would be cheating. I know the answers. You need to discover them. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. Have I given you enough clues? Let me give you one more. Anything goes. You phone up, you speak to Catherine, she'll take your name and number, she'll call you straight back. Between 11:15 and 11:45, actually the last week or so, between now and 12, this hour has been a little bit quiet on the calls. So if you call up, you'll be on pretty much instantly. Okay? We have a couple of minutes while I do one of these stupid things, but you'll be on pretty much instantly. You can call in about absolutely anything you want. 03 44 499 1000. Dredge is on the line. Evening, Dredge.
All the biggest hits all day long.
Oh, man.
That sounds like fun.
I want to jump off a cliff. I've booked in. I tell you, when we took the boys to have their eyes done, I should probably go for an eye test because I'm finding I'm squinting a bit at the moment. My eyes aren't as good as they were about 3 weeks ago, but I think that might be the medication. But for ages, Dredge, I've been wanting to book. Are you right?
Yeah, sorry, I got a slight laugh there.
Don't. This is the serious. This is the serious bit. Oh no, don't.
Serious?
Did I tell you? Did I tell you? Now then, Dredge. Did I tell? Oh, did I? Oh, it doesn't matter, does it? Oh no, never mind. Did I tell you when?
Brilliant. That's a brilliant Tommy Cooper, by the way.
Did I tell you when Frankie Howard came on to me?
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, this is true. Frankie Howard, when I was in the lower sixth, because we went with some upper sixth, so how old are you in the lower sixth? 16 years old, I think. And we got into Frankie Howard, and it was kind of just before he died. Frankie Howard had a bit of a rebirth as a bit of a cult hero, as he did every few years. He'd have a bit of a rebirth. And we went and saw him just before that kind of rebirth happened. Maybe it was in the zeitgeist, right? It was vibrations. So we went and saw him. Me, my friend, probably Malcolm, Matthew and Paul. We went and saw him. Maybe it was in Croydon, I don't know. Maybe it was in Hammersmith. It was the Lyric Theatre in Hammersmith. That's where it was. And, we went and saw him a couple of times. Someplace, maybe Croydon, then we saw him in Lyric. And,
is that smallish?
Smallish venue, nice, small, intimate theatre. So, I don't know, what does Lyric hold? 700, something like that, right? And, what was interesting was I saw him twice, and both nights the act was bang on, word for word, exactly the same. It didn't diminish my love for him. I thought it was wonderful. And we got a picture. We bought a Frankie Howard picture on the merch stand, which I have thrown away because I'm dumb. And we went backstage, 4 16-year-old lads, went to the stage door. Yeah, what do you want? We were wondering if we could meet Frankie Howard and get him to sign our picture. Thinking we'd be turned away immediately. Yeah, no worries, lads, come in. Straight away, we were ushered in, and we stood there going, what? And then Frankie Howard came out. Oh, yes, well, boys, what do you want? We went, just wonder if we could get your autograph, Mr. Howard. Oh, yeah, and he took us into his dressing room, and he was fiddling in his pockets to find a pen, and he kept pulling out. He must have pulled out about a dozen little miniatures spirit bottles, right? Right, what do you want me to write? And he wrote, and we got him to write this, basically he wrote an essay on there, and I've chucked the picture away like an idiot. He wrote this essay, and he dedicated it to everyone in the sixth form, all these names, about a dozen names on there, and he wrote this. And there was this weird bit, Dredge, when we were just kind of stood there, and it was the four of us, 4 young lads, and Frankie Howard and his assistant. And we just stood there, and he was sort of looking at us for a bit. And it was silent for about a minute, 2 minutes, and we went, all right then, Frankie, Mr. Howard, I think we call it. All right, Mr. Howard, we'll be off then. Oh, well, and you could see he looked a bit sad and a bit disappointed. And we went off, and I didn't even, and it wasn't until quite a while later, probably after he died. Now, that would have been, we saw him in about 1989. So I didn't even know he was gay, right? Didn't even know he was gay, right? And then the stories came out. Not that he was a paedophile. I'm not saying that by any stretch of the imagination. But he liked younger men. As a lot of people like younger men or women. He liked younger men. And looking back, he was obviously thinking, wow, someone's a delivery has arrived. This is wonderful. And, we got him all excited by being keen, enthusiastic 16-year-old boys. And then, we left him high and dry, so to speak. But, why am I telling you about that night that I nearly, got off with Frankie Howard? Well, I don't know why have you done this to me, Dredge?
What do you mean, why have I done this to you?
You've made me tell this story.
You've done it to yourself.
You've done it again. Yet again. Anyway, Dredge, what are you called in for?
Well, first of all, why didn't you play I'm Bored by the Bonzo Dog Band?
Yeah, I know. Do you know why? Because I'd forgotten that song existed until just now.
That's a good reason.
It's not a bad one, is it? As reasons go, it's a pretty good one.
I like the Bonzos a lot, but I really did not understand the Sir Henry film. I mean, that is one of the strangest films I've ever seen. I don't know if you've seen it.
I saw it. It was a friend of mine was really into it when we were at college. So we would. I'm going to speak bluntly. We'd get a bit stoned and watch it. Right? Don't do drugs, kids. And I didn't understand it. Looking back, I think I would understand. I mean, I understood the plot, but the wordplay is so rich and so clever and relentless. There's no let up in it. That I didn't dig it at the time. I think I would dig it a lot more now. I mean, the fact I love I mean, it's full of great gags. The fact that he keeps 2 prisoners of war at the end of his garden, and they, they have to try and escape, and he has to try and keep them prisoner, and it's all a bit of a game. I enjoyed that. I thought that was wonderful.
But I'm not sure whether, for me personally, I don't know whether it worked as a sort of film. I mean, I think it worked as a record.
Yeah.
But, visually I'm not sure. But the thing I was calling about was the sort of boredom thing. I mean, I think you're right. I think a lot of creativity comes from boredom. And, for example, someone like Peter Cook, a lot of his imagination, I think, a lot of his comedy came from the fact that he was existentially bored, somebody said once.
Yeah.
And, if you listen to a lot of his routines, they're a lot about boredom, aren't they?
They're very
always
mundane.
Talking about how boring everything is,
Yeah, they're very
The Queen
slow,
must have
mundane.
a very boring life, She just waves every so often. But he sort of took that boredom and made it something incredible, even though I think he had problems with that himself. And,
one of the saddest, we were talking via email, because I used to work with the guy that gave me my break in TV was a guy called Harry Thompson. He's dead now. He was kind of a genius producer. The reason I hesitate to say that is because he's the one that made me do They Think It's All Over twice, and those were 2 of the worst evenings of my life. But he was a brilliant producer, and he was a lovely, lovely man, and he gave me my first break. And he wrote the only Peter Cook biography that's worth reading. It's just so detailed, and I can't remember if this is in the book or if he told it to me. You might remember if it's in the book. The saddest story he told me about Peter Cook was because Peter Cook was like the handsome one, the good-looking one, and the brains behind the act. And, of course, Dudley Moore went off to Hollywood and, bizarrely, became a leading man and had the more successful career. So he was off making, romantic movies, and Peter Cook was at home drinking and smoking. And the saddest story he told me about Peter Cook, or maybe it was in the book, I don't remember, was in the late 80s, early 90s, Dudley Moore came back to England for a visit, and they hadn't really had much contact. And they met up. This is so sad. And they would be in their 40s, I guess, 50s. And they sat in a hotel room together. It's a weird story. They sat in a hotel room and took ecstasy. And sat there. And and the reason I found that so sad, right, because there were 2 men in their late 40s, 50s. And the only way they could communicate was they couldn't just sit there and have a drink. Do you know what I mean? And sit there and have a chat about stuff. And they had to have an incredibly strong chemical, druggy experience to be able to sit in each other's company for, more than a few hours. And I just found that two old men doing ecstasy in a hotel room. I found that the saddest story.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think he had a few problems with the old drug intake, didn't he?
He did. Sad.
I think because he was bored. He was bored of life.
The word I'd use to describe that story, more than sad, is pathetic. And I mean that in the truest sense of the word. It's not a criticism, it's not a moral judgment. It's just a very pathetic image. But yeah, you're right, he was bored and he struggled with drugs and alcohol and probably with sex and with cigarettes and of course out of the boredom of Peter Cook came those marvellous phone calls as Sven the fisherman to Clive Ball.
Brilliant, I loved it.
And that was out of 2 o'clock in the morning, that's out of pure boredom.
So there is like a positive side to it, even though it might not have been very positive for him.
Yeah.
But I think, a lot of creativity comes out of boredom. A lot of great music comes out of that. I mean, I was listening to an interview with Morrissey, and he was going on about the fact that the Smiths came out of boredom. There was nothing much to do for him in Manchester. Things like that,
Well, I don't know if you're aware of and it's a truism, that necessity is the mother of invention. But boredom is the grandfather of creativity. You heard that saying?
I haven't actually heard that saying, but...
if you start saying it...
Other people will think it's an old saying.
That'd be useful.
I saw Michael Bentine at the blooming Lyric once.
What was he doing?
Just having a cup of tea, No, he was on stage.
Did he have the potty men?
Was that him or Ken Dodd? I'm not absolutely sure.
Ken Dodd was the Diddy Men. Ken Dodd was the Diddy Men, and didn't Michael Bentine's potty time?
You're right. Yeah, exactly.
Potty time.
No, I think they were probably too complicated and expensive.
Potty
it was
time,
a good show, I remember.
We don't do old kids shows, but from all I can remember of Potty Time was he had like this sort of tiny, this massive table that was sort of like a 3D map, and there would be like explosions going off on it.
Yeah, mini explosions.
Yeah, and it was the potty men were like fighting and stuff.
That was a really good show. That was a great show because it didn't talk down to kids, did it? He was one of the few that didn't really talk down to kids at that time. And kids appreciated it, I think.
I need to, Grace, I'm going to move on. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. I'm going to need to reevaluate that with fresh eyes. Barry, stay there. You'll be on in a minute. 0344 499 1000. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late Night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Now, it's been brought to my attention that whilst I've never had an Ofcom complaint upheld, so the people that made them about the Mean Show and about... they weren't upheld. Thanks very much for your interest. They weren't upheld. We could be sailing close to an Ofcom. In that, Catherine... you should probably come in on the microphone because you're going to have to apologise here. Catherine may have used the word competition when it comes to what is actually a bribe. I'd use the term free for all.
I've never discussed this.
I'd use the phrase lucky dip. I'd certainly say not picked at random. I would go as far as to say it's a gift for participation, but only to one person that we choose. Let me explain. On yesterday's show, Catherine...
I never said anything.
...said that we will be running a competition.
No, I never.
Where if you left a review and a rating for this show...
Entirely your idea.
...on iTunes, the iTunes podcast, because the chart is based on reviews and ratings and new subscriptions.
And I thought it was quite dodgy.
If you left a review or a rating, every Friday we would pick a winner.
No, I never said that.
Your words, not mine. And we would send them a prize, and that prize could be a TalkSport mug or a cigarette that Ash had rolled. And we need to talk about that as well. It could be my running, or it'll be something. We pick a prize, and
not my pants.
Well, Catherine, I was giving you, when you were saying that, I was giving you the slit in the throat thing, not because I'm a fan of beheadings. I think they're barbaric.
He's threatening me again.
Because I was basically saying, stop it, otherwise you will get beheaded. Not by ISIS, by Ofcom, who, in my eyes, are actually a lot worse. So, here's how I'm going to save your ass, and I'm going to make me look good.
Leave my ass alone.
Well, when James and Ash have finished staring at it. So what we're going to do, Barry, I will come to you in a bit. what we're going to do
is look at the tape and we'll see exactly who said
no,
those words,
those
and
tapes.
It wasn't me.
That's fake news. That is fake news. I don't care.
Alternative fact.
I don't care what has been. I don't care what recordings you've got. Yeah, exactly. That is fake news.
Right.
So what's going to happen is, guys, dear listener, I speak to you.
Ofcom.
If you could, no, not Ofcom. I'm dealing with them by speaking directly to the listener, or as I like to call them, the sucker. Dear listener, what you need to do is to go onto iTunes, and it would be great if you could leave reviews and ratings. 5-star review, any less than that, and you'll be in trouble. 5-star rating and a little review. And then
Try and make it convincing, because some of them,
Well, on Fridays, what we will do is we will go through the ones that have been left that week in the last 7 days, and we'll pick one that makes us chuckle. We'll do it on air, so that is completely transparent and above board.
Yeah, and we're going to call it something respectful, like Butt Kiss of the Week.
Butt Kiss of the Week. And we will pick one that makes us laugh, right? And nobody receives anything. I've got it. Nobody receives anything. By coincidence, the reviewer that makes us laugh, by nothing more than coincidence, will be sent a mug, or, if we get a crappy CD sent in by Matt Bianco, as I've seen floating around the office, or you'll get, by coincidence, but that is absolutely nothing to do with the ratings or reviews that have been left. Just one of those things.
So it's not a tombola or a lottery or a competition.
No. It's
just a coincidence.
It's a coincidence. All it is a coincidence. Friday night coincidences.
I'm glad that you've straightened that out.
That's a great way to get around. We should have done that at the BBC. Have a quiz, and then someone says, well, you've not won anything, but by coincidence...
I happen to have...
You might get some CDs through the post. That's how I do it.
Just don't put a comp slip in it.
No. Oh, gosh, no. But, anyway. Barry, stay there. Come to you in a bit. 03444991000.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Right, 03444991000. I don't feel like the show started properly yet. I don't know why. We're halfway through it, guys. Halfway through it. Barry!
Ian, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, thank you, mate. What you got for us, sir?
Well, yeah, I was wondering where I could start, really. I think your point about where this show goes, I just can't stop telling people about this.
Well, may God bless you, Barry. It's people like you. Honestly, if you're enjoying this, dear listener, please tell people, because this business is based on numbers. So I appreciate that, Barry. Thank you.
Ian, honestly, I'm not in the business of telling lies. This is an absolutely brilliant show, and the point you made about where this show goes, I just whacked a few notes down here, because I think at the time I come in, you were talking about Frankie Howard.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that. I think that was the week he actually came back, and that's where I think he started to grab public attention again.
Yeah, because it was a bit of a joke, and it was perceived as a weird booking. They're like, why have you got that old guy on? And, on what is going to be a thrusting alternative, before that phrase was invented, new comedy format, and he absolutely stole the show, didn't he? It was career defining.
Oh, crikey, yeah. I mean, I watched it at the time, and he'd come on, and I knew him as a sort of an old comedian from back in the day then. And then he came on. I think he'd been going around the universities, I think.
But he had a lot of comebacks. He had several comebacks throughout his career. And what was fascinating, I saw him twice in the space of about 3 months, and the act, look at her, and it bit her out. He kept saying that, and it bit her out. That was him. A lot of his act was going, and it bit her out. And every intonation was exactly the same on both of those two shows. And at first I was disappointed, Barry, and then I thought, actually, that just shows how masterful he was, it was scripted, it was word perfect. I genuinely don't think I've laughed as much as when I saw Frankie Howard when I was 16 years old. I was in hysterics.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He was a class act. He's actually, he was living around not too far from here, a place called Loxton, which is not far from us in Weston-super-Mare. And he's actually buried out there. And while I was on a sort of Frankie Howard conversation bit, I don't know, my mind started working then. He had an absolutely terrible toupee, didn't he?
No, it was... Yes, he did! He did! It was awful!
Well, that sort of prompted me at that stage, because this show moves so quick.
Yes.
And I was thinking about, I wonder if Iain knows a few bad ones. I mean, there's quite a few bad toupees around, isn't there?
I don't think there's any such thing as a good toupee.
No.
No one has a good toupee. I'm sorry, Mr. Forsyth. I'm sorry, Mr. Shatner. Nobody has a good toupee.
No, and these guys are absolutely rolling in dough.
Yeah.
And if they can't do it, well, what chances the ordinary
Bruce Forsyth
guy who
is
wants
the
to have a
richest
bash at it?
person on this planet. If Bruce Forsyth can't get a decent syrup, then nobody can. Then that technology doesn't exist.
No. The other thing, Iain, was... you mentioned at the end of the show last night about this big breakfast challenge that this guy's got, this cafe in Weston.
Yes.
Well, he's in Meadow Street, which is not too far.
Oh, the big 4,000 calorie breakfast. You got 45 minutes to eat.
The one that you were weighing up, and I think you said in the finish that the tomatoes would have beaten you.
Yeah, I think you had 2 cooked tomatoes and also a tin of tomatoes. Now, the tin of tomatoes I could do. The cooked tomatoes, I don't get it. Don't get it.
Anyway, what I did, I phoned this guy up. He's a lovely guy. Yeah, he's a lovely guy.
Yeah.
And Ram, his name is.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, so I told him who I was. I said, "Do you ever listen to Iain Lee? Talk radio?" He said, "No."
Oh.
I said, "Well, you really should, Ram." I said, you're
Ram, you're a superstar, Ram, if you're listening this evening. You're a superstar. We want your 4,000 calorie breakfast.
Well, he said he's going to call in.
Maybe he'll make me eat it. Yes, please.
Well, anyway, so for a bit of fun, I thought he would have not taken it seriously, and I said, well, for myself, I'm not really inclined to sort of with that sort of food.
Well, you're a vegetarian, aren't you, Barry?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of meat on that plate and a lot of blood.
So I said to him, Iain, I said, well, would you do a vegetarian alternative? And the guy was quite serious. He said, "Oh yeah, we've got one of those challenges. Well, the big vegetarian breakfast challenge." So I thought, well,
you're going to do it. Hang on a minute, Barry. Can I? How old are you? 72. 73. I am worried that if you did it, you might die. And I don't want to be responsible, because that is a lot of... Catherine's saying we should film it. I'm trying to talk the dude out of it, Catherine, because I don't want him to kill himself. You're saying we need to film it, so it goes viral.
I'm not going to die, I've done a 10-mile race on Sunday.
This is 4,000 calories.
Yeah, but 10 mile, I could run that off, couldn't I, the following day?
Oh, God,
I'd get rid of them.
Barry's going to die. Well, Barry, you've not been calling us for that long, so we're not...
No, I wouldn't die. What bothers me is puking. I've got this phobia about puking, so that I might have to think sort of twice about that, because I really wouldn't fancy that. But anyway, he did say he was going to call in, Iain.
What's his name, Ram?
His name's Ram.
Ram, if you're listening, mate, you're a legend. I think you do the work of the Lord. That breakfast sounds wicked. Barry, if you do decide to do the veggie breakfast, you have to film it for us.
Okay. Well, I'll have a think. Can I get somebody to sort of help me with it?
Yeah. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
But think long and hard about it, Barry. I don't want anyone to die for this show. But thank you, mate. Ram sounds like a nice guy, doesn't he? 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Oh, that reminded me. I'm talking about the music radio. Where's my voice going? There was what was it in? The Mirror. It was in the Mirror. In the TV section. And again, this kind of... I don't watch TV. You'll know that I don't... Oh, by the way, look at lovely Joan Hodges, who is Chaz Hodges' wife. She just tweeted me. Can you all do me a favour, dear listener? Chaz Hodges, of course, from Chaz and Dave, we know he's got cancer, right? He's going to be fine. Without revealing any, things that have been told to me in private, he's going to go for treatment. It's going to be fine. It's in where is it? It's in, all the papers have got it. Again, it's the Mirror. All the papers have got it, but the Mirror have got a nice spread about it, a nice page about it. Chaz and Dave, cancer shock, Hodges, it won't be staying long. Oh, that's a great line. Listen to this. Chaz and Dave star, Chaz Hodges, has cancer of the esophagus, but vows it will soon be, quotes, out on its ear. Love it. I love it. I love this man. The duo yesterday announced they'd been forced to reschedule tour dates while he recovers from treatment. Yet snooker loopy singer Chaz, 73, is determined to return to the stage next month. He told The Mirror, as far as I'm concerned, this cancer is an unwelcome visitor that won't be staying long. It's turned up and I'm thinking you're going to go out on your ear, chum. He added, the good news is it's been caught early. It hasn't spread and they can do something about it. Boom. Boom. Been a long time since it's been a while since I've been cheering someone on so much to get well from rubbish cancer. The London-born star discovered a problem shortly before Christmas. So he's having chemo next week. Right. So here's what you need to do, dear listener. If you're on Twitter, can you do me a favour? His Twitter name is Chaz N. Hodges. And it's Chaz, C-H-A-S-N Hodges, H-O-D-G-E-S. All you got to do, just tweet him and say, all right, Chaz, wishing you the best. That's it. That's all you got to do. One little tweet saying, Chaz, we're behind you, mate. Chaz, thinking of you next week. Best of luck. That's all you've got to do. I tell you why. It will make the world of difference to him and to his missus, Joan, they're both absolutely delightful people. And I think this is going to be fine. But he's a 73-year-old man who's going to go and have a bit of chemo. It's not going to be nice, whatever happens. So, it's entirely up to you, of course. Far be it from me to tell you what to tweet and whom to tweet. But if you've got 30 seconds, we're going to play the ads now. While you're listening to the ads and letting the beautiful products or recruitments for the military waft through your ears, get your phone, just at Chaz N. Hodges, C-H-A-S-N. Hodges, and just say, just thinking of you, mate. You haven't got to mention me. Just tweet him and say, wish you the best of luck. Looking forward to you getting better. Something like that. Or a kiss. That's all you got to do. Honestly, trust me, it will mean the world to him and Joan. I promise you. And it's little things like that. I'm not going to say it's going to cure him of cancer. Of course it's not. But it's just little things like that that can just help tip the balance a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So we're going to play some ads. You can do that now. Would you mind? Are you sure? At Chaz N. Hodges. I'm going to do it as well. 0344 499 1000. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late Night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000. Going back to this TV thing. Chaz N. Hodges. Take 30 seconds. Honestly, it will mean the world to him. This kind of ties in with the rant I did at the top of the show about radio, right? This I don't watch TV. And we watched this drama that was on this Shannon Matthews thing, and I don't know. TV dramas, I don't know what it is. I know I can see the cameraman and all the crew standing behind. I can see them acting. I don't know. I'm not really big on TV at the moment. In more ways than one. But there's on the Square Eyes page, Thinking Outside the Box. It's the TV page in the Mirror, and it's a good little page. Who is it? Nicola and Mark. Nicola Methven. Is that? Yeah, Methven. And Mark Jeffries. It's a good little page. But then there's this little box. Want your 15 minutes of fame? Yeah. Then ITV's... This bit's all right, actually. Then ITV's new late-night entertainment series, The Nightly Show... Oh, I heard that before. ...needs to hear from you. It could be your chance to play a prank on a pal, get close to a star, make someone's dream come true, or show off a pet's talent on telly. All of that is fine. Been done a million times. Beautiful. Love it. Producers are keen... Producers are keen to create TV moments which go viral. Oh, no! Why can't producers be keen just to create TV moments? Full stop. Producers are keen to create TV moments which go viral. Who did I read yesterday? Oh, it was Robin Ince. That was it. Someone had taken a tiny little 2 lines from an article Robin Ince had written for the big issue. And I can't remember exactly what it says. I'm paraphrasing and I may have totally changed the meaning. But it was something like radio and television is on a downward spiral because they just book people who can trend on Twitter. That's it. I think it may have just been radio, because it was in his radio column. Radio is going downhill because they book people that can trend on Twitter. And that's it. That's it. People who can trend on Twitter. Wowzers. The TV producers want clips that will go viral. Oh, make a flipping good TV programme then. So all you got to do, make a really good TV programme. That's it. It's that simple. Make a really good TV programme, then people will talk about it. And that is like the old-fashioned way of it going viral, by people going, did you see that programme last night? No, what happened? They had this thing with this bloke and his dog, and it was brilliant. Honestly, it was brilliant. You missed it? Oh, go and watch it online. That's what they want. I think I may have made myself unemployable with ITV and a whole radio network this evening, guys. Deary me. I just love what I do. I love my job. Do you know what I mean? And when I see people suffocating it, they're putting a pillow on the face of it and pushing the pillow down, I think, don't. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you're more than welcome. Speaking of TV, a lot of snipey press for The Jump. A lot of snipey press for The Jump. Wiggo poised to quit Jump after injury hell. Let's just say I went for the Jump meeting. I wasn't offered the Jump, but I will say to producers of that show 2 things. Firstly, even if I injured myself, even if I broke both my legs, I would still jump. I wouldn't walk off, I wouldn't crawl off, I wouldn't get wheeled off. Even if my spine was broken, right? Even if my neck snapped, I'd still jump. Because when I sign a contract, when I say I'm going to do a job, I do a job to the very, very end. Honestly, even if I had to go off that ramp in a wheelchair, I would go off that ramp in a wheelchair. If I had to go down there like Dr. Nookie in that Carry On film on a hospital trolley, I would do that. And yet you chose to go with Bradley Wiggins and, second time we've heard his name this evening, Mark Dolan. Mark Dolan is the me in that. Mark Dolan is the me in The Jump. Did I want to do The Jump? No. Of course I didn't want to do The Jump. It's rubbish. Did I want a cheque for £60,000? Yes, right now. That would be very, very handy. And also, just imagine, TV producers, if I was going down there Dr. Nookie styley or in a wheelchair, imagine that clip viral. Sir Bradley Wiggins is set to quit The Jump after tearing a calf muscle. Oh, my poor calf. In the launch show, the cycling legend, some might say, the mod father of bicycles, hobbled away from the slopes in agony. Then hinted he may pull out of the contest. Wiggo, who's won... Is this true? He's won more Olympic medals than any other Brit. What about Sir Stephen Redgrave? I thought he had more... I don't believe that. Google how many medals, Olympic medals, Wiggo has won. He's won more medals than he's won more Olympic medals than any other Brit. No. Was competing in the parallel slalom skiing race on the Channel 4 Winter Sports Show. He narrowly picked comic, oh, that's what he is, Mark Dolan. Right, he's won 8 medals. Are they golds or is that a mixture? Well, then that's not true. Google how many Sir Redgrave has won. He's won about 15. Stephen Redgrave's won about 15 medals. You see them all round his head. So Bradley Wiggins has won 8. No, that's not the most. No. Was one of them in lying about how many medals he's won? He narrowly picked comic Mark Dolan, but winced. By the way, if it had been me instead of Mark Dolan, right, there is no way Redgrave got more than 6. That is fake news. That is fake news. Redgrave, don't give me alternative facts. Tell me exactly how many medals Redgrave won. More than 6. Let's just say, if it had been me and not Mark Dolan, there is no way I would have been putting Sir Bradley Wiggins under the kind of pressure that would have forced him to tear his calf muscle. That would not have happened. Okay, I would have been holding back, letting Bradley do his thing. I know it's important to these sporty types to do well, so I would have let him done well. But winced as he crossed the line and howled, "I've torn my calf muscle! Quick, put on a record by the small faces!" So Bradley, 36. He is not 8 years younger than me. Who said he would love a role in BBC soap EastEnders after the jump. Sorry, Bradley, it's only proper hard men. Like, that man who's related to King Edward III and the British Will Smith. Can't remember either of their names. Dyer and Daniel Bedingfield, I want to say Daniel Bedingfield. And Mama used to say... Junior, that's it. Danny Dyer and Junior. Blackwood, that's it. The clue's in the name. It is. Sir Bradley, 36, who said he would love a role in BBC soap EastEnders after the jump, could not wear his ski boot and said he didn't know if he'd be back next week. Now telly bosses fear they could lose their most expensive signing, who shocked fans by swearing live on air. It's like, remember when ITV paid something like £250,000 to get Pamela Anderson on Celebrity Dancing on Ice? Voted off first week. And she totally trousered the fee. It was something like £250,000, which is more, way more. The next celeb down would be getting like £80,000. But they've spent £250,000 getting Pamela Anderson voted off first week. They were furious. Oh, I heard from people who were working there. The bosses were furious. They were looking at ways they could cheat it and get her back, and they couldn't. Wiggo's appearance helped attract 2.8 million viewers for the launch, well up on last year. A source said losing Sir Bradley would be a major blow. Blow? One star who will definitely not be going any further is former... Just to say, well, one star who will definitely not be going any further is former Big Brother winner Josie Gibson. Huh? Terrified Josie, 32, refused to do the final ski jump challenge and was eliminated. She refused to do the final ski jump challenge? Did no one tell her that ski jump challenges were involved in the jump? She said, "I'm upset I've got no idea who this woman is. Am I close? I'm upset I let my fears get the better of me, but I found it very, very difficult." Yeah, well, I hope... Oh, she's from Bristol, so that's close. Well, I hope that they not only didn't give you any of your fee, I hope you had to pay them, because they've been out there for like a month training. Oh, can this person who keeps sending me things about how antidepressants aren't helping people with depression, can you naff off? I've blocked you on Twitter and I'm blocking you on this screen because it's really is unhelpful when you're doing a show and someone keeps flashing up. Throw your antidepressants away. Go away. Goodness sakes. Right, we've got another hour of this nonsense to go, dear listener. If you want to take part, well, now would be an excellent time to call in. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Oh, this is what we're going to talk about in the next hour. This is what we're going to talk about in the next hour. The new 50 Shades of Grey movie is out. Right. Now, Catherine and I, in our previous job as local radio people, took some listeners to see 50 Shades of Grey. And one of them was a 92-year-old bloke called Dennis, who phones up from time to time. And it was the funniest thing. It's such an awful film. It really is. It's not even sexy. The sexy bits aren't sexy. I mean, she's cute. She's got a cute bum, and I guess he's good looking, and he's got a good bum. That's it. I mean, it's a really boring story. It's a little bit, in my mind, a little bit rapey, like Passengers is, a little bit rapey. And it was just an unpleasant story. But for those of you who've seen it, the scene where, I'll talk to him after the news, if he can wait. The scene where Mr. 50 Shades opens the door to the sex dungeon for the first time, silence in the cinema. And you're supposed to be like, oh, gosh, this looks naughty and sexy. And Dennis very loudly said, "That looks like my spare room, that does." And the woman in front turned around and went, "Shh," to me. I said, "It wasn't me, it was the old boy." She went, "No, it wasn't, it's you. You've been talking all the way through this." I'm surprised she could hear anything over the buzzing anyway. I'm joking, guys. Little bit of blue humour for the dads. But it was if anyone enjoyed that film, by the way, please do let me know, because I can. Hang on a minute, Dennis. No, let me try that again. Dennis. Oh, I think Dennis might have died. If anyone saw it and enjoyed that film, can you tell me why? Because I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Anyway, the new... Oh, look. Oh, beautiful. Well done, the Daily Star. Well done, the Daily Star. You've played a blinder. Coming up in the next hour, we're going to get an hour out of this. A full-on hour. The A to Z of 50 Shades of Grey. Pardon me. Oh, did I just burp? I think I burped then. I think I did a little burp. Isn't that funny? I think I did. Yes, Dennis.
Good evening.
Please tell me your radio is turned off.
It is now, yes.
Marvellous, Dennis. What have you called in for?
I watched 50 Shades of Grey tonight on the telly.
What, the first one?
Yeah.
You're obsessed with that film, man.
Well, every time I see something different.
What, is it a different nipple you're seeing?
No, it's not that. It's because a lot of it was pinched from Pretty Woman.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I can dig that.
You pinched a lot of stuff from there. And I think Pretty Woman was better, actually.
Pretty Woman is a good... We're out of time now, Dennis. I've got to go. Pretty Woman is great and 50 Shades is rubbish.
Oh, well, I'm waiting for the next one coming out.
It's coming out very, very soon, Dennis. Keep waiting. Don't hold your breath, though. 0344 499 1000. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Talk Radio.
Oh, isn't it funny when someone from your past pops up? Bill, stay there. We'll come to you in a bit. Another hour to go, dear listener. Pick up your phone's dial. Otherwise, it's just me talking into the ether. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late Night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
I'm so glad that I got her to think of. She's fine as any Valentine. I think about her all the time. Cross my heart and hope to die. She sends me silly messages and pictures, directing traffic in the mall, or posing with some brand new shoes. She never fails to surprise. She makes me laugh. She makes I should take her on safari. You'll see us wave from our canoe, if that's what she wants to do. Tell me what's wrong with that. She makes me laugh, she makes me smile, and I could hang out with her all day and night. She makes me laugh, she makes me cry, and I would like to be with her forever. No matter what else I do, she's still the girl I should hold on to. No matter whatever else I do, she's still the girl I should hold on to. No matter whatever else I do, she's still the girl. She makes me laugh, she makes me smile, and I could hang out with her all day and night. She makes me laugh, she makes me cry, and I would like to be with her
There's a noisy connection. It's this, isn't it? There's a noisy little fuzzy who's fuzzing. Maybe I'm the only one that can hear it. Anyway, I'm going. Thank you very much indeed. Good evening, dear listener. 03444991000. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. If you don't call in, I'm going to talk about 50 Shades of Grey for the next 55 minutes before the two Michaels start shouting at each other. So that's up to you guys. That's up to you. That's how you want to play it. Bill has called in, so we are saved for a moment. Good evening, Bill.
Hello, Ian. How are we?
Oh, Bill, we are all the better for hearing you.
Thank you, thank you.
You're very, very welcome.
The pleasure's mine.
The pleasure, well, some of the pleasure may be yours, but certain part of it belongs to me, sir.
Goody, goody, goo.
Wow, 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 woo.
Right, it's getting a bit cringy, isn't it?
It is. Let's get down to the nuts and bolts. Let's get down to the balls and... No, let's talk.
Meat and veg?
Yes, please.
Who's veg and who's meat?
I tell you what, just to move things along, I'll be veg and you can be meat this time.
Fair enough.
Sounds good.
Nice bit of beef.
And lovely potatoes and carrots, but they're going to be pricey.
Or burnt.
Or burnt. Pricey or burnt. The choice is yours as we play pricey or burnt. Let's bring on our first contestant. Good evening, Bill.
Hello, Ian.
Bill, I believe you've got a funny story about a yoghurt.
Yeah, I've got a funny story about yoghurt, actually.
Go on, then.
Well, it's not really funny. It's a bit annoying. You know when you get them, yeah, and they're in 4? You know you get the packs of 4?
I do, yeah, I do. The Petit Filou, the Ski, those, the Munch Bunch, yes, I do.
The Bonjour, the Petit, le Fleu, Clémentine, the François.
J'ai 2 ans.
The Photo, the Couteau, the Quoi, Chichois.
Juste.
The Vendeur.
Yes.
But yeah, Siéntate en mi cara, but that's Spanish.
Yeah. Oh.
But anyway, this yoghurt story, it's not really going to save the show or nothing. But you know when you just...
Hang on a minute.
Sorry.
The show doesn't need saving.
No. I mean, it's not going to be like caller of the year or nothing.
Okay,
you know
fine. I mean? But the odds of you ever being caller of the year, Bill, very, very slim.
Yeah, exactly. I don't mind.
Okay, let's hear this yoghurt story.
So basically you just open it, yeah? You just want one, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
So then you open it, and then you have to snap 2 off, and then it ends up opening, like, all of them from the corners.
Yeah. Oh! Well, that's how they make their money, Bill. Bill, that's how they make their profit. Because then you eat all 4 in one go. So then you'll go back and buy another 4 pots of ski.
And then, it's like £2.25 a pop in wherever you want to go, you know what I mean? So I'm getting on...
unless they're advertising with us, absolute rip-off.
Oh, yeah, honestly, I don't mention brand names, I swear, I've learnt my lessons.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you have learnt your lessons, Bill. I'm glad that...
Do you remember you used to have to hover over the dump button with me?
And now my hand is... I'm probably, 2 seconds away from the dump button. So that's something. I'm glad those 6 months in Siberian radio school that we sent you to have paid off.
Yeah, Putin, he brainwashed me. It was good.
Well, that's the way we like it. I would love to be brainwashed. Maybe I have to accept this state that we live in. I don't know. But I'd love to be like the proper brainwashed, where you're sat in front of a screen for 62 days in a row, and you have a catheter, and they feed you. Yeah, they feed you hallucinogenic drugs, and they keep your eyes pried open, and people wearing masks put drops in your eyes.
Oh, it sounds good.
Yeah, I'd like that, I think.
Are you talking about 50 Shades of Grey already, yeah?
Whoa.
Oh, are you seriously going to talk about it this hour? Because I've got something to say about that.
Mate, I've got it open in front of me. The centre spread being the right word, of the Daily Star today. Hit S&M movie is whipped back into shape for Valentine's Day. It's coming out on Valentine's Day, the most unsexy day of the entire year.
Oh dear, it's like organised fun, isn't it?
It is, exactly.
I can't stand it.
No. Oh, look. My sister is saying, Bill is always my caller of the year. And then she's done an emoji. And get this, Bill, the eyes are hearts. Heart eyes.
Oh,
eyes.
Your sister, yeah?
Yeah.
Hello, Mrs. Lee.
Well, she's not Mrs. Lee.
Or Mrs. Ian's sister.
That's better. Yeah, that's a correct name, yes.
But, that's nice. That's really nice.
And Scott Balcony, you know the T-shirt bootlegger?
Yeah.
No?
Is he the guy you say he's a fan?
Yeah, he's a fan of you, yeah.
Oh, okay, I've never heard him. He don't phone in, does he?
He doesn't phone in because he's not like you. He hasn't got any balls. Literally, he had them surgically removed when he was 18. It was part of a court case. But
oh dear,
he was going to go to bed, and then he heard that you were on, and he's decided to stay up a little bit longer.
All right, then, good night. No, I'm joking.
Hey, rat fans.
Oh dear.
Bill, get to the point of the bloody call.
So this 50 Shades of Grey, yeah?
Yeah.
It's good because it's that time of year. It makes Tinder so much easier. For sure.
Could you sing it for me?
Do you want me to?
Yeah, of course.
All right, then, I'll keep it PG, though, because 50 Shades of Grey, what's that? That's like 18 or 15?
Yeah, I think it's, well, probably a 15, wouldn't it?
I'll keep it PG,
Thank
then.
you, mate. I appreciate that.
Okay, I was travelling around on work over the weekend, so I was bored in the travel lodge. So I switched my Tinder on just to see. It was an experiment to see if women were more friendly than the ones in London who just want your money. They don't care if you're funny, they just want your money and the honey from the pot. Yeah, this is gonna be a long song. So anyway, I put this Tinder on and I got all these matches, more than I get in London. So I started talking to them, giving them the smoothness. Then it got on to handcuffs and whips and blindfolds. I'm not gonna tell you what I was gonna do. Just the equipment, some from B&Q. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a February barbecue. Oh yeah. So I had 2 nights and they both went right. And then I had to get the train home. But there's more to the song. Before I got the train, I met another one for coffee. 'Cause I wanted to get it on. But she didn't. So I got the train back as early as possible to get back to London town. Is that good?
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you very much indeed, Bill. Thank you very much indeed. Is that... Because obviously I've never used Tinder. Is that how it works? Is literally... Look at you both looking down at your desk as though you don't... Is that how it works? You just go on there and then you go and have kinky sex with people? Flipping heck. Jeez. Well, he got a song out of it. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. We're going to go through the A to Z of 50 Shades of Grey in a little bit. Catherine, I suspect you should probably come in and join me for this. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Why have I suddenly been followed by about 30 people who work in the radio industry? Ian's getting fired again. So, first 50, because the books were a phenomenon. Well, the first book was a phenomenon. Dun, 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 50 Shades. I don't know if the others were so much. But now, if you go to any charity shop, they've got like a dozen copies of 50 Shades. Because, you know, you've read it. Thank you for the water, Catherine, by the way.
I only read 1.5. I got bored.
I'm being followed by about 30 new radio people.
Oh, they're waiting for you to say something else.
They're waiting for me to get the sack so I can get this job. So the first book was a phenomenon. I don't know if the other the second and third were quite so big, were they? But I remember...
You know, it was supposed to be fan fiction to start with. It was, you know, Twilight.
Yeah.
So...
Go on.
Instead of being a vampire, he's a pervert.
Yeah, well...
And also, I don't think he's likeable at all.
He's horrible.
He's horrible, and she should have given him a slap back.
You know, there's a spoof of 50 Shades of Grey called 50 Shades of Black, where it's all black people.
But the thing is, the film itself is a spoof, isn't it? It's ridiculous.
The first one is so dry. Mm-hmm. Well... It was... hang on a second.
Was it because you were sitting next to a pensioner that put you off?
No. It was,
that spiced it up.
I just found it so... It was humourless.
Yeah.
It was really humourless.
It was. And if you're into that kind of kink, you've got to have a laugh about it, haven't you?
You've got to have a laugh.
Surely.
But the new one's coming out, directed by someone differently, because the previous director who was going out with John Lennon from that film, Sam Lady... whose name escapes me, Sam double-barreled name.
Is it Taylor something?
Sam Taylor Wood, that was it. Who's a great director.
She didn't get along with the writer.
No. So she was going to direct all three, and so she's now out. Mm-hmm. And there were rumours...
Can I say as well?
Yes.
Dakota Johnson.
She's Bush's daughter.
No.
No? Who is she? Whose daughter
She's Melanie Griffith and Don Johnson's.
Is she?
Yeah. Oh. So she's got a fine pedigree.
Yeah, lovely pedigree.
But...
Yeah.
Didn't like her.
I didn't think she was... Because she's meant to be, like, naive, isn't she? I didn't. She came across as a sex kitten.
Yeah. And he was really hot, but not sexy at all. And wooden.
Well, you have to be...
Well, no, but wooden in the wrong places.
Pick a letter of the alphabet, and we're going to sail through...
K.
Oh, yeah.
For Catherine.
No, K is for Kim Basinger.
Oh.
Kim. Oh, yeah, because he was sexually abused as a child, wasn't he? Kim Basinger. Kim, 63, plays Elena Lincoln, a.k.a. Mrs. Robinson, the woman who seduced a 15-year-old Christian, so sexually abused him because he was a child, and introduced him to S&M. So basically, she's the woman who violently sexually assaulted a child.
Should be in prison.
And should be in prison. And has caused him to be completely messed up and unable to have a fulfilling long-term relationship.
That doesn't involve pinching and or slapping.
That doesn't involve domination and humiliation.
I mean, can you imagine how tedious it would be to hang out with him? You can't even bite your lip without him getting testy.
No, you buy his testes. I think
no,
part of it.
He's the one that does the biting.
But yeah, so he was raped as a child by Kim Basinger. So that's maybe not quite the fun letter to start with. So let's
try another one.
Let's go for O. O is for orgasms, which come from God, according to Miss Johnson. Now, who's Miss Johnson? Who's Miss Johnson?
As in Dakota Johnson? Are we talking about the actress, or is this a character?
O is for orgasms, which come from God, according to Miss Johnson. Oh, it must be from her. Okay.
Yeah.
She says, America is still so sexually oppressed. Isn't God's gift to humans the orgasm?
Oh, wise
What
words.
the
Such
hell?
wise words.
God's gift is the orgasm. What about, I don't know, love or beauty or milk? What about milk? Milk?
Your train of thought is odd.
What? I'm just thinking of things that are nice.
Yeah.
Milk is nice. What about warm? Oh, what about warm milk?
What about laughter?
When I was in Japan, we had the most amazing drink in this tiny little cafe in this weird little village where we thought we were going to die, but that's for another day. We genuinely thought we were going to die there. Met the most miserable Buddhist monk I've ever. Bloke called Woody. Miserable. Woody? Yeah, he was American. But I wanted to chat to him about Buddhism and stuff, and he was really... I'd go and talk to him and stuff, and he'd just walk off.
Those guys are usually cool.
We stayed at... Can you believe this? When we went to Japan for part of the... For several nights, we stayed in a hostel.
Oh.
I was in my mid-30s. I had a few quid in the bank back then. TV work was still happening. In a hostel.
What were you thinking?
Well, we wanted to go to this tiny, tiny village that was quite off the beaten track. They're having this huge festival there. It's like this famous festival, but it's in a tiny village. And of course, we hadn't booked, so everywhere was booked up. So I thought, a hostel, we can get to stay in a Buddhist temple. So I thought it'd be like Wicked in a Buddhist temple, but it wasn't. It was horrible, and it was a hostel. Shared showers with
bunk beds.
A Frenchman had a go at me for cooking a jacket potato in the oven. What do you know about le potato de Jacques? Le pomme de Jacques?
Pomme de terre de Jacques.
Exactly. I thought you absolutely...
De blouson.
It was, honestly, it was awful. I hated every minute. But. They, in this tiny thing, it was warm milk, and they'd flavoured it somehow, and I don't know how.
Perhaps best not ask.
With plum. Warm plum milk.
Now I understand your train of thought.
No. Oh, no. Why have you got to ruin everything and bring it down to the gusset? What? No, please don't, because it was I've just shared with you a very intimate moment and you've laughed at me.
Very.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't semen. It was plums. Warm plum milk. Warm Japanese plum milk. What? I'm saying a drink to you that was nice. You'd like it. You'd love it. I bet you would love warm plum milk. If I could get you some warm plum milk now, you would
give it a try.
You would neck it. You would neck it.
Well.
Yeah, well, you'd be licking your lips dry.
All right, come on, let's move along.
Richard's called in. Good evening, Richard.
Hello, how are you?
I'm disappointed in my colleague and former friend.
Sorry, but warm plum milk is a funny phrase.
Yes. Come on, guys.
Say it again.
No, I'm not.
Warm plum milk.
No, I'm not playing this game. I know what. Next, you'll be like doing the funny Japanese voice.
What?
You're being racist towards the Japanese. It's a Japanese drink. Why don't you do the eyes and do the voice? Go on.
Gosh, this has taken a turn.
Hasn't it?
She's having a bit of cheeky fun.
You don't.
I've been doing the eyes for every call I make to you.
Have you? Well, in that case, well, here's the thing. When on the nights we don't have the periscope up, I'm doing the eyes. Anyway, Richard, before we get into any more trouble, what have you got for us?
I actually want to tell you what my subconscious thought of you. I had a dream last night featuring your radio show, which is very disturbing.
Yeah.
But you'd recommended a film. And I remember in graphic detail, I was having these really strange dreams for days. I don't usually remember dreams.
Yeah.
You recommended this film, and it was like a bad horror film.
Yeah. No, I actually recommended a film, or in the dream I recommended a film.
In the dream you recommended a film.
Thank you.
And it was about an old man who discovered the secret to eternal life was to surgically reattach young men's sexual organs to himself.
That is a brilliant idea for a film.
Go and pitch it.
Lino, hang on a minute. My mate Lino, if he's listening, he'll know if a film like that exists. Lino, does that film exist, or is there anything similar to it?
It does sound quite Japanese.
And also, while I'm thinking, any scientists listening, is there any truth in this rumour that attaching a young man's genitals to replacing your genitals with a young man's?
Well, the thing is, I can't quite remember whether it was replacing or just attaching them anywhere.
Right, okay. Wow, okay.
And then it started off as in, like, he was putting adverts on Gumtree, and some Germans responded, obviously. And he had willing donors for a while, but then...
Willy what?
Yeah, willing donors.
Willy Wonka? I don't know, why don't you Wonka?
And then, but then obviously later on he runs out of willing donors, so he stops, going on a murder.
Can you stop saying willy donors?
What's it, willing donors?
Willy donors. What's the film starring Howell Bennett? Music, soundtrack by the Kinks, Percy, where he has penis
That
operation.
doesn't exist. You can cast it yourself, Ian.
No, but there's a film, honestly, there's a film about a penis transplant, and the soundtrack is done by the Kinks, and it's called Percy.
And let me guess.
Yeah.
It has a life of its own.
Oh, don't be stupid.
It's trying to find its way home.
You don't get... I tell you what, anyone who wants to make a movie, right, or a drama series, like a really gritty drama series, you don't get this anymore. You used to get it a lot in the 70s and the 80s, right? So you could do it now, be ripe for a revival. Someone gets their hand chopped off, right, and they get a new hand sewn on, but it's the hand of a murderer. Murderer. Okay, fine, you want to go that way. I was going to say serial masturbator. That's why he had it chopped off, because he couldn't stop playing with himself.
I was going to say it in a similar vein.
But the guy who has the hand sewn on is a murderer, and he wants to murder, but he can't. He has to masturbate.
It's one way to disarm someone.
That is a film. That is a great film.
Again, scientists, could it happen?
Oh, man alive.
There was another thing as well, in a sort of similar vein.
Please.
Last night I spent the... I had a vein as soon as I said it.
Yes.
Last night I spent the night at a lady friend for the first time, and she said to me, like, before I went to sleep, she's like, oh, sorry, if you don't mind, I usually like listen to some like speech radio, like to help me sleep.
Oh.
And I was like, same.
Oh, this is make or break.
No, well, she's Australian, so she ended up she wants to put on some talk radio. Australian like rubbish. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just associated them with rubbish talk radio. Yeah, so I was like, oh, actually, have you heard the two mics before? So she was like, no, I haven't. So we put the two mics on. And then later on, they were ranting about Australians as well and saying how awful they were, which was a great introduction. But then we ended up getting a bit amorous.
Oh, no.
During the two mics.
Hey, you get turned on by two fat, short men shouting at each other. Do you want me to shout at you now?
Please. Yeah, so like halfway through, I just sort of realised what was going on, and in the background, the two mics were still shouting at each other, and just cracked up laughing, and we couldn't continue.
Oh, it's a bit harsh, isn't it?
Rogerisation.
Richard, you're a very, very dirty man. Thank you. Russ, oh God, another dirty man. Well, you stay there. We'll come to you in a bit. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. We are dissecting the A to Z of the 50 Shades of Grey sequel movie.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. 0344 499 1000. You can call in about anything you want. If I am particularly keen to hear from you though, if you did enjoy the 50 Shades of Grey movie, because I didn't. What? Just give me those stats there. This is
63 responses, 63 retweets, 142 likes.
Okay.
But he has been up for 22 hours.
We've got more likes. Anyway, so childish. We're just comparing our tweet stats to someone else's in a really childish way. I'm going to be 44 soon. Jeez, I'm going to be 44 soon. What month is it?
Now, it's
March,
February.
April, May. 4 months, I'm going to be 44. Sweet Lord.
Worse than that, I'm going to be 40 this
Well,
year.
Again, Russ! Someone who saw 40 many, many years ago. Russ!
Oh, hello.
Hello, Russ. Get off the speakerphone and put the phone to your ear. There's a good boy.
I'm on the speakerphone, actually. I beat you to it this time.
Oh.
I was prepped and ready.
Well
and
done. Somebody's learning.
Yes. Yes, my love.
Yes, my darling. What you got for us?
Well, I rang up about crap in charity shops, but on that thing you're on about the warm milk.
Yes. Oh, no.
I believe... you can talk, Kath.
Well, I know, and I think I pushed it as far as it will go, but I'm waiting for you to pole vault over the line.
No,
without a pole vault.
It's from the male yak.
Oh.
Apparently so.
Your Japanese plum milk.
No, it's not. It's not milk. No, it's not. It doesn't mean milk from testicles. It meant milk that was flavoured with plum.
Since when has yak meant testicles?
He says the male yak.
No.
That's the way he's talking.
I'm
Russ
sorry.
is trying to get a dirty one over on you, and you've let him have you. Russ has snuck in, taken you from behind, and then now everyone's having a look.
Well, I feel used.
Russell.
Sorry, Kath.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Filth, utter filth.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah, you're talking about this 50 Shades and the amount of copies in charity shops. I have noticed that myself.
I wouldn't want to read someone else's.
Another one is DVDs.
Oh, yeah.
And you can guarantee, every charity shop I go in, there's a glut of the Bourne movies and Borat.
It used to be, I tell you what it used to be, about 10, 15 years ago, it used to be in the record section. Every charity shop had 5 copies of that Leo Sayer album where he's jumping in midair and he's got his legs spread open. I don't know what it is. You'll find it on your computer, Kath. But you're right, now it is...
Am I going to be Googling Leo Sayer leg spread?
Yes, now it is 50 Shades of Grey and Bourne DVDs. You're absolutely... And Borat. I've never seen Borat. I'm never going to watch it.
The thing is the best one. Bruno.
Oh, man.
Is it Endless Flight?
Yeah, that's it. Endless Flight. That's the one.
Because he's also Kimbo in the very best of.
Yeah.
It's just a copy of Borat, to be fair. It's just funnier.
Well, I work with the guy. I don't need to see
Lots of rude jokes and, double entendres.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hey, have you heard?
Yes.
They're bringing back Wurzel Gummidge.
Oh, no.
Thanks for calling, Russ. Pick a letter.
D.
D. Oh, D is for double D. The size of the boobs in the movie has been increased to double Ds as people wanted bigger knockers for their dollars. Not really. D is for Dakota Johnson. Oh, here we go. The daughter of Melanie Griffiths and Don Johnson's reprises her role as innocent Anna, who is in for more sex than before.
She wasn't innocent by the end of the first film.
She says... The film is more about discovering Anastasia's sexual journey.
Ugh.
There were no inhibitions. He even touched my pee-pee.
Gosh.
Boosh.
That's sexy.
I'm going to go for that one. J is for Jamie Dornan. The Northern Irish actor admitted it was easier to film red-hot scenes with Dakota this time round because they've had time to get to know each other. We've a great love and respect for each other, he says up top the Eiffel Tower. H is for heart. Christian finally lets Anna touch him in the forbidden zone.
Oh, yeah. You know where that is?
That's just his heart before you get too excited.
No, it's his chest, because he's got all scarring on his chest from something that happened in his past that's supposed to keep you interested enough to read 3 books, but didn't for me.
Is that so? What is that when he was raped by Kim Basinger?
No, he's had some sort of skirmish.
E is for E.L. James, the author of the novels. Real name Erica. Loves the fan response to the films. It was panned, love. Everybody panned it to the point where the movie industry was thinking, damn, we're tied into 2 more of these turkeys.
But she loves the fans' response because they went to see it numerous times.
Oh, here we go. The fans' response. It blows me away every time. I miss that scene. People can be disparaging, but the fans are still up for it.
Yeah.
W is for... This is actually quite boring. I mean, it just makes the film sound boring. N is for nudity. Dakota goes stark as in the flick, but Jamie refused to go fully naked and wore a pouch over his privates, although he does flash his backside. We do see his dinkle in the first one, don't you?
Did we see his dinkle?
You get a glimpse of you get a glimpse of dinkle, whether it's his or a stunt one.
I was so bored, I didn't get even that didn't rouse my interest.
Z is for Zayn, former 1D star. Zayn Malik teams up with Taylor Swift for the... Well, that's a good booking for him, isn't it?
Yeah,
teaming up with Taylor Swift.
Very good.
That is an excellent
They
booking.
did a sexy video, but there's no touching in it because obviously Taylor Swift is best friends with Gigi Hadid, who's his girlfriend.
Is it like... when Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder did Ebony and Ivory, they didn't even meet. They were on different continents.
Yeah.
Stevie was in LA, Paul was in London.
Yeah.
And they
It was like that, except they were both in the same hotel in London.
B is for Bondage. The sequel features 2 bondage scenes. Is that all? I want to... Tell you what, right, because buy a ticket for this costs you 15 quid to sit in the West End. For that, for 15 quid, you go to the right shops and know the right people, you can get 3 DVDs, 90 minutes each. It's all bondage.
You don't even need to do that. It's all free.
All bondage.
You can get it online.
B is for bondage. The sequel features 2 bondage scenes, including one showing Anna strapped to a bondage bar with foot restraints in the notorious Red Room of Pain.
Here's a thought. Save your 15 quid. Have a look online and get something for free, right? And then after that 5 minutes is up, go and buy a proper book.
Yeah. Here we go. R is for Rita Ora. Reitz is back. Reitz.
Well, she was barely in it, was she?
As Christian's sister Mia, hopefully getting more airtime than her blink and you'll miss it appearance around the first time. S is for sex toys. Dakota admitted she was a novice when it came to kinky accessories, but now can't get enough of them. Well,
I bet she has got enough of them.
F is for flange. B is
Beg pardon?
butt plug. D is for dongle. C is for No, I don't think I'll be going to see that.
What if they send us free tickets?
No, even it would be like it would be like when we went to see Frank Zappa and we were a week early and we realised quickly it was a street cat called Bob. That was free and we were sat there. And a street cat called Bob started, and we didn't have to be anywhere for the next hour and a half.
I've never run out of a cinema before.
We would rather get to work ridiculously early with nothing to do than sit in front of a free screening of a street cat named Bob. Imagine that. Imagine how bad that film must appear to us if 30 seconds into it, realise, oh no, should we go to work and be really early? Yeah, might as well.
Scarper.
Instead of watching this film for free? Yeah, might as well. Might as well do that, because this looks utter pony. Utter pony. Last 20 minutes of the show, dear listener. If you want to give us a call, well, you can't.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Well, this is the thing, you see. I've said I don't want people to call in, and they've called in. Let's go to Lane. Good evening, Lane.
Tonight, my name is Bernard.
Good evening, Bernard.
And I'm wondering, what's all this sex talk about? Why are you talking about sex?
It's because the new 50 Shades... What's it called? 50 Shades Greyer? Darker. Because the movie's coming out.
What the hell are you talking about? Shades of grey.
It kind of flips between Irish and elderly.
Elderly?
Elderberry. Elderberry.
I don't understand.
Here's one thing I won't do.
Yes?
I will not buy the drinks at Wagamama's. I think they're overpriced. The food, delicious. Really nice meal tonight. Lovely ribs. But I won't buy the drinks. They always look enticing, but they're like £3.50, and I think that's too much.
What are they?
Fantastic noodles.
Ed, lovely noodles. Absolutely wonderful noodles.
Fantastic noodles.
Wonderful. The ramen there is stupendous, but I will not buy the drinks.
I'm really hungry.
Yeah,
they have a rather splendid disabled lift at the wall at Leicester Square.
They have a really good one at the one that we went to in Windsor, because the boys wanted to play on it, but it said out of order, which meant disabled people couldn't eat there.
Are all Wagamama's underground?
No.
I can't think of one I've been to that's overground. Now he's mentioned it. Wagamama's.
That one, I've only been to one on the South Bank, and that was overground.
There's only one. There's only one lane that's overground.
Good. At least there's one.
Well, I'm glad we've sorted that out. That means that disabled people will have to travel to the South Bank, which is a bugger on the trains. Vinny!
Hey, I heard you're doing a competition. £50,000 for like a voice, guess the voice or something?
Yeah, that's right. We're doing a Guess the Voice competition.
And you win £50,000.
That's correct. £50,000 could be yours if you can guess the voice.
All right.
Now, we've had several attempts. Catherine, maybe you'd like to run through some of the wrong attempts we've had, please.
Okay, some of the wrong attempts we've had. Julia Somerville, the newsreader.
Yep.
We also had Jimmy Somerville, the singer.
Yep.
And we also had Jimmy Nesbitt.
I'm going to play the clip now.
Okay.
You're allowed to ask animal, mineral, vegetable.
Okay.
And then I must take your answer. You ready?
All right. What do you think about stem cell research?
I'm going to play it one more time.
What do you think about stem cell research? Is it Dave Quinnard for the bill?
It's a good guess.
I'm going to hear it one more time.
What do you think about stem cell research? Yeah, I'm going to stick to that answer.
Stetson. I'm afraid you've got it wrong. I do apologise,
Close,
young
though.
lady. Listen, go home. You've done well. Tell your boyfriend, tell your mum, you got this far, but you go home empty-handed. Thank you so much, madam.
Yeah, I've got one more for the Deadpool thing.
Yes, thank you so much for calling.
So close.
Wasn't she brave? Wasn't she brave?
But she came with nothing. She had a good time.
Why is there, Ed? We need to sort this out, right? Because there is distortion.
Yeah.
There is distortion. And
What do you think about stem cell research?
Is it my computer?
Are you
or is it
over-modding because it's too loud?
I'm not. No. It's not an over-mod thing. So even if it's quiet, it's
About stem cell research.
it's distortion on the line.
What do you think about stem cell research?
So I don't know. This is why I suck this.
I don't think there's any excuse for doing that.
Will.
Hello.
Hi, Will.
Excuse me, I'm in the middle of a field of sheep.
What?
I'm in a field full of sheep.
Oh. May I ask why?
Because I am feeding them.
Are you allowed to feed them?
I am. They are mine.
Oh, well then how many sheep do you have?
I have the minimum number required to be called a flock.
12.
3.
No. Correct, 3.
Is it really?
Well,
Otherwise, it's a pair.
I think so.
Oh, so it's not. I thought you. Sorry, for a second, I thought we were talking about an official, actual term. You're.
No, that's 4 years ago, I decided I want some sheep, so I'm going to get some, and I figured 2 is not enough because they're herd animals, and 4 or 5.
Do you ever straddle them and pretend to ride them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Hang on. I'll do that right now. 1 second. I know this is the radio.
He's going to straddle a sheep live on air.
Hang on, there's one trying to climb up me. 1 second. Sheep straddling is complete. I am straddled now, live. Back to the sheep.
We've all wanted to or have done the straddling of a sheep.
Do they have names, Will?
Oh, they do. They have pedigree certificates and everything.
Well, give us their names.
Right, I am currently straddling Annabelle, who's nearly 10 years old now.
Just say that sentence again.
I am currently straddling Annabelle, the sheep, I should add, who is nearly 10 years old.
Doesn't it sound wrong, though? Doesn't it? And Ed, you can edit that to take the sheep bit out, can't you? So he sounds like a sex criminal.
No, she's an old lady. I mean, most people tend to eat.
That'd be mutton, wouldn't it? She'd be mutton if you were to slice. If we went nuclear, and you had to kill her and slice her up, I wouldn't want to eat.
Not while he's straddling her, please.
No, well, you slit the throat. Sheep, that'd be very, very chewy meat, wouldn't it?
I don't think I could. If it ever came to that, I'd have to have some kind of deal with someone else who had sheep, and I'll say, well, listen, I don't know your sheep, I don't know their names.
Oh, I'd kill Annabelle for you, Will. I'd kill Annabelle for you.
Anyway.
No.
What are the others' names?
We've got Annabelle, we've got Rose, and we've got Marge.
Okay.
Well, they sound delightful.
They're a rare breed sheep.
Do you not want a ram?
No.
You don't want to make baby sheep lambs?
No. I couldn't handle any more.
Tupped. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
When they've been tupped.
They're brilliant creatures. They're really peaceful. They eat the grass.
Have you ever? And now, this is a genuine question.
You can't ask me that. That's private.
Genuine question, right? If you were to use a turkey baster, but the turkey baster, instead of being full of ram's juice,
stop it,
was full of man's juice.
No, it wouldn't work.
Why not? Because it's the same stuff.
No, it's not.
What would come out?
I thought I'd better check online and know it.
Have you looked it up?
Of course.
This guy, of course. You see, because he's a bloke like me. Of course, he's looked it up because he's thought about it. Well done.
What would come out would be a mam or a shirson.
I think if it was possible, we would have seen examples of it by now in history.
Yeah, well, the government don't want us to know these things. Anyway, what are you called in for, Will, apart from to show off?
I'm walking back from the paddock now because that job is done. Rita Ora, I just cannot hear her name without thinking,
Rita Ora, too orangey for cold.
And that's how we started the show with the Rita Ora advert,
exactly. Yeah,
which is actually quite racist.
I can't hear the name without thinking, Rita Ora.
Rita Ora.
He's got a fella doing, he's doing the Muppets all by himself, this fella, isn't he? Well, thank you for that.
One last.
Oh, no, go on. Yeah, go on.
What?
Go on.
Just briefly, you were talking about those sound recorder devices. I've got the same one as you, by the sound of it.
The Zoom H7 or 6 or something?
Mine's a 5, but they are brilliant things.
Well, mine's either a 6 or a 7, so mine is at least one, maybe two better than you.
But yeah, I've taken it all over the place. I do a lot of open mics, so I tend to record the open mics.
Yeah, it was a sound little investment. It was the probably the only piece of kit that I've bought that I actually still use and get got my money's worth out of.
I bootlegged a concert with mine as well.
Ooh, mate. Well, yours must be a tiny one then.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, mine's the size of my hand.
All right, boys.
Yeah, it's about that, but it was a Howard Jones concert.
Oh. This is the thing to all of my friends. Refused every invitation on this show.
He was doing an acoustic set. He literally was just him and a piano in a sort of little tin pot village hall in my
Yeah, he refuses to come on this show.
Well, he doesn't. I think he's hard to get hold of, but I used to know the guy who handled his PR, but I've not got him on Facebook anymore.
I have got a great picture backstage at the Bare Naked Ladies with my boys, with Howard Jones. Howard Jones was there, and I said, but the boys didn't have a clue who he was. I said, boys, you've got to come with me and stand next to this guy. I want a picture of you with Howard Jones. And I've got this brilliant picture, and bless Howard, he was very gracious and let me take this picture. Kath's clicking her fingers.
I've remembered his name. I'm going to send him a message.
Who? Howard Jones? It's Howard Jones.
Well, he actually said at the beginning of his concert, he said, I don't mind if you record it as long as you're not going to try and sell it afterwards or something along those lines.
Well, good for him. I've been to a couple of concerts where the artist has said, look, you can record it, and if you work out a way of making money out of it, let me know, because we don't know how to. But tape it. And I think that's the way forward. I think it's slightly different for a comedian, in that you don't necessarily want your act to be shared, but for music, I think that's great.
But it is good, because if you tell people they can't do it, they just want to do it even more, and they're more likely to do it.
Oh, I used to be a massive bootlegger. It used to ruin the enjoyment of concerts, because I'd be worried about where my microphone was placed and all of this stuff, and I recorded stuff on tape, and but the thing is now, you can get a really good recording on your iPhone.
Yeah, they're not bad.
No, I got a really. What was the app I got on there? I don't remember. But I remember getting a really good recording of the Monkees when I went to the States on my iPhone. Beautiful stuff. Well, thank you very much indeed. Although, of course, guys, don't record concerts. That's illegal. That's bootlegging, and
it's naughty.
It is very naughty. And now Twitter's gone down. Has Twitter gone down? This is the song for all of my friends. Damaging preconceived ideas. Oh, don't get up. They let up down your brain. Saying both sides. Throw off your mental chains. Woo! Why would people retweet me and comment on the retweet, but not follow me on Twitter? That's just...
Because they only want a piece of you, Iain. Showbiz.
What have I written here? Tit-tat. I've written tit-tat. Oh, tit-tat!
Oh, are you talking about a tattoo on a breast? I know exactly what we're talking about then.
Tit-tat. It's literally what it means.
It's Roger Taylor's girl, isn't it?
It's my shorthand, look, tit-tat. I thought maybe I was reading it wrong. So Roger Taylor's... This is what I meant the whole show to be. Roger Taylor's daughter
Roger Taylor of Queen.
That's the fella. She's a sexy model now, sexy lady model. And she's there in her pants and her bra. But underneath her tit, she's got a tat. Tit tat. Now, it's 4 letters. It's not done particularly well. It's either, I think it's FRRL, but it could be PRRL.
What's her name?
Tiger Lily.
It's not her initials then.
What's his last name?
Taylor.
Tiger Lily.
TT. Tit tat.
Tit tat. Let's go around in circles, aren't we? Queen star Roger Taylor's daughter. I like Roger Taylor, never met him. But you see him on telly being interviewed, you think, he looks like a decent bloke.
He was on Brian Pern, wasn't he? He was quite funny.
Yeah, he looks like a really decent bloke. I met Brian May. Brian May's a nice bloke. But Roger Taylor, you think, yeah, he looks like a nice bloke. Roger
I like
Taylor.
his voice. He's got like a Rod Stewart voice.
He has, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I like that kind of whisky voice. The drummer in Kiss, Peter Criss, has got that as well. Queen star Roger Taylor's daughter, Tiger Lily, beats her drummer dad by appearing without her kit. That's clever, actually. That's good. The student, 23, has stripped down to her undies to pose for lingerie firm Blue Bella. Tiger Lily, who designed some of the range herself, put her modelling career on hold to study for an English degree at Sussex University.
Very sensible.
But the Londoner, child of supermodel Debbie Leng, 53, and Roger, 67, is now drumming up interest in fashion again as she prepares to graduate. She's bound to be a sex symbol. Symbol.
Ting. Yeah. Very good.
But what does that stand for? That interesting tattoo just beneath her boob. If anyone knows, please.
Maybe it's an instruction.
It's either FRRL or it's PR.
Feel right. Rotate left.
Maybe that's it. Well, we did a whole show. We didn't mention Farage, we didn't mention Burko, we didn't... I don't know what we talked about, to be honest, but we got through it. I know I'm going to stop off at the garage on the A4 and get something to eat.
Starving.
Yeah, I'm a bit Hank Marvin as well. That's it, dear listener. Don't forget, we will be looking on Friday at your reviews you've left for this show on iTunes. And by coincidence, the one that we like the most, by coincidence, that person might get a package through the post containing signed
tat.
Signed tat. So go to iTunes, leave a review. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, dear listener.
Talk Radio. 24-hour radio debate and entertainment.
Talk Radio.
We'll get you talking.